Doop 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 doop. All right, welcome to the Smeggie Cave, part two. I don't know why Google Hangouts or YouTube hates me, but the other one died. This is the new one, and yeah. So we were having a conversation when the craziness started happening with my computer. I couldn't hear everything that was going on, but it sounded like you guys were talking about. Well, I heard something the difference between snap caps and dummy rounds, and then also why you would use such a thing in training, and I'll kind of let you guys continue on from there.
Now,
Whoever wants to kind of pick up.
all I remember is that Bob was wrong.
Absolutely.
I gave him a link. I'm wondering if that's why he's not jumping into the new one, because he knew that he was wrong.
Nope, that is impossible. Bob will never feel shame.
That's true.
You had something over there, Dano, you were going to show?
Oh, well, I'm going to set up a couple here, and then you guys can just talk while I'm setting it up.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
How did this whole thing start? It was something, if you don't have money for training, you just buy some snap caps or something. And then Bob said that's too expensive or whatever. I was confused on that whole part. And then my computer got crazy.
And then G explained about how sometimes the snap caps are more plastic. Sometimes
they normally have a little spring in them. That's like, well, that's what I call a snap cap. I have one for my shotgun, and it's a plastic thing with like an actual kind of like primer thingy that's a plunger on a spring. And then for my 9mm, I have like what those are, where it's a solid piece, and that's more for gun manipulations. You put it.
Smegs, you have the orange one or the maroon one?
Yeah, this is the maroon one that I'm just holding up right. It's but it also has a aluminum rim right there, and you can see the paint's come right off from being used. But it does have I don't know what's in that primer pocket, but it's like a soft plastic so the pin can hit it.
Yep.
I don't know if that shows up in the camera or not.
And I have no idea what the theoretical number of strikes is on the A zooms.
Mm-hmm.
I have absolutely no idea, but I haven't broken one yet either, though. But I also
the rubber part's broken. I have seen the rubber.
Really? Now, will it just come out of the cup and basically then it's just no good, basically?
Shredded. It just sort of looks all broke, like if you poke a piece of rubber enough times. I don't know how long it took, but I have seen them, in like bins of stuff. I have seen them trashed before.
Okay. And then another one that Dano's holding is an orange one, and that's a solid piece of plastic. Is that correct?
Let me try. I got left, right, backwards, and forwards. Yes, it is. And what will happen with these is because it is plastic, is the rim where when it goes to pull it out of the chamber is eventually going to snap or break.
Is it true that those are made out of orange rinds so that they are naturally renewable?
Oh, they are delicious. Absolutely delicious.
They
Especially after they got a little lead on them.
So interesting. We have a comment here from Michael saying, I have snap caps, but to me, they seem kind of pointless unless I'm teaching my boys. So I would challenge that of saying they can still be useful. And the idea is you put them halfway through your magazine or whatever, or have someone else load them, or you're just loading mags, you've tossed a couple in, you forget where they are.
Hold on.
And that helps with malfunction training.
No. So that was the whole point of what I was trying to explain before. Nomenclature, whatever, accuracy, right? A dummy round, right, is a plastic inert projectile used for training. A snap cap is the more fragile plastic, usually clear plastic with a spring and the plunger, like you're saying. That is not a training round as much as it is to protect firing pins. So the reason you see those most often in shotgun rounds and then in some of the revolver cartridges is protect a firing pin that should be dropped so that you can protect your springs and storage. So in other words, put your shotgun away, you drop your firing pins so that you don't over time damage your machine. And so that you don't over time damage your firing pins by dropping them on nothing, you put in snap caps. Because of the nature of them, they are going to break, and then your shotgun is going to break, right? So they make them clear so you can monitor their if they're working or not. So they would not be a good idea for running through your gun and dropping them on the ground and giving them a lot of damage, because they're going to break. So a dummy round is the opposite. A dummy round is an inert cartridge made a couple of different ways that is designed to be thrown around. It's a perishable item, very inexpensive. Snap cap $6 a piece. The dummy rounds $6 for a handful.
Yeah, that's true. And I forgot about that, about the reason for the shotguns, because yeah, that's how I got the over-under closed.
Okay, so my internet decided to screw up so that I wouldn't hear that explanation the first time, and then I would say something dumb. Because I guess I was talking about the dummy rounds that you put in the magazine for training.
That's all I was trying to say, is that we oftentimes interchange them, which is fine. It's like clip and magazine. Who really cares? Except for when gun nerds are talking to each other, then let's So then going back to another question, what are some viable AR rifle options? What do you think of BCM, CMMG, or maybe DD? These are some of that I've been thinking of. I own a BCM. I would not ever own a CMMG, and I have no interest in owning a DD. So I think DD are fine. At least they had been in the past. I don't buy them, so I don't know if they're different now than years ago. BCM is outstanding, and I own one.
That would get my vote. I would like to get one of those. That is the plan.
I do find it interesting that not anyone on your list is Colt. I'm wondering why.
Because Colt only makes clones of the military rounds, and those are carbine length. If Colt made a mid-length, I would consider it. But BCM makes a higher level of quality than Colt.
Okay, I thought you were just talking about ARs in general. Okay.
I never talk about ARs in general. That's like saying apples. So that's like if someone were to...
Well, no, I understand that there's different variations of ARs. I mean, in regards to their quality control, material selection, the processes they use, like cold hammer.
Top of the line is the top of the line. Yeah, Colt makes them for the military, so it's very good. Top of the line is BCM. For me, and for I think most people.
And I would suggest roll your own. I have a Frankenstein AK, as we learned earlier today when Bob made fun of me. I have a Frankenstein AR. I like the Spikes Tactical Lower. I got some other stuff from different companies all over the place. Little Palmetto State Armory. But
that was not his question, though, correct? His question.
Well, he says, what are some viable AR rifle options? And then he gave some suggestions. I'm saying another viable option is to make it yourself. And if you want better quality than like what I have, then just buy the better ones. But I do like Spikes Lower. I think they make a good lower. And by rolling your own, you can go both directions from getting a inexpensive AR to getting a high-end AR for less money. And you know how to fix anything that's wrong with it because you put it together. That's knowledge that cannot be taken from you. Right. And I would say, especially if it's just the lower, I went the easy route. I bought a complete upper. So I didn't, line up the gas block, and I didn't get the barrel on there and get the nut tightened down. I didn't do any of that stuff. So if any of that stuff goes wrong, I mean, I haven't messed with it yet. I probably could figure it out because I have resources like you guys that could help me out. But honestly, if you're worried about, I don't know how to do it, at least just do that. Get an upper that you really like, grab a lower, get a parts kit, pop it in there. So it's kind of hard to mess up a lower kit. Yeah. I did the same thing that Smeggie did. I bought an upper. I did both my lowers.
I purchased the whole gun.
Well, my AK I purchased complete. I mean, which is, and G-Webs actually made them from scratch. So you can go obviously any extreme from complete to parts and things in between.
Wait, what are we talking about? My AKs?
Yeah, that you've made some from parts kits.
I make guns that I can put my bayonets on. I've never suggested that my AKs are made to go to battle.
Oh no, we're not saying battle rifles.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute though. we're talking about viable firearms or rifles or whatever, so we're not necessarily discounting it to be unusable, correct? Because then we might as well say, well, why don't you just do the $200 AR belt and say fuck it, and assume that it's going to treat you the same as, say, the BCM.
Michael has another good question. I don't know if I'm interrupting.
He's rolling, dude. He is the Smeggie Cave member of the fucking hour.
I agree with that. So he says, but you need the knowledge to build a rifle properly. Pomade says they're pretty simple. Once you watch a couple of videos, you're good to go. There's some kind of saying, some kind of wise person about if you think you know what you're doing or something. So you assemble an AR, correct? You'd only need to be an armorer to assemble an AR, correct?
Yep.
But that's like saying anyone can assemble a car, correct? Anybody
That's true. That is technically true.
Anyone can assemble a guitar, correct? Anyone can assemble a Stradivarius, correct? Anyone can assemble.
No, I disagree with that part. I disagree with the Stradivarius.
Then anyone can assemble a delicious sandwich, correct? Anyone can assemble a delicious beverage, correct? I think you know where I'm going with this.
Yep, I do.
Anyone can assemble, but there's finesse and there's issues that you can avoid with experience and with knowledge, and there's something about buying a gun that you're going to be using not only to defend yourself, but also to justify in court and everything else, all the other illegal implications of a gun used for lethal force. There's something about getting one at a factory that you cannot assemble. Let's put it that way.
Yes, I would agree with what you just said there for sure.
But this is a side thing, but I can't imagine how many Frankenstein ARs there are out there now.
Well, I don't think anybody said don't have one, right?
Well, no, I just basically saying a question.
Okay.
That they're not a rare bird anymore.
And I guess I would guess given the companies that he was looking at, they tend to be like kind of the higher end off the shelf ARs. So maybe he is looking for something that has a little bit better quality than you can make on your kitchen table as your first one. I'm not saying it can't be done. I think that's kind of what I was getting at is they're not impossible. Like, don't be too scared of it. And I encourage people to put one together eventually. But I guess, yeah, if you'd rather have one that's, is good to go and you won't have any quality issues and any other stuff. That's why I didn't assemble the upper. I was worried about getting the barrel right and getting the gas block and all that stuff pinned correctly. Like I didn't have confidence in myself to do that. So I went with a company that does that. And then it came to me all as one piece.
Right. And that was the same true for myself as well.
So before Bob was talking about ridiculing us, belittling us, suggesting we were all buffoons without saying it bluntly. That because the physical, like the physical characteristics of bird shot into a mammal justify the use in home defense. And we tried to explain to them that no matter what the physics involved are and whether or not it would technically be effective to the life of that mammal, we live in a country with society and laws, and we need to justify things to a jury of our peers on a civil side, on the criminal side, right? And then on the civil side, we have to do it to 50% of jury of our peers, right? So we have two different levels of scrutiny from our peers or from a judge. And again, you can assemble anything you want, but you are also assembling a position for yourself in court that the opposing attorney has an angle, has a leverage that they can put question on your
to start with.
So if anything happens in the situation that lethal force is applied, and there's a situation that has anything to do with the mechanical operation of your firearm, why leave yourself vulnerable with an opportunity for them to have an angle to suggest your competence in assemblage? Is that a good way to say it?
I definitely drives the point home because I definitely get what you're saying. Anybody can put it together, relatively speaking, and whether that's after a couple of videos or not. But I like what Michael, is that the gentleman's name? Michael? At one point he said out there that it's important to be able to, what did he say? something about it is important to doing it correctly is the mission. And I totally agree with that, because the level of mistake repercussions can go from 0 to 100.
And this is from the carpenter's world, but I'm sure there are other sayings from other skill sets that are out there. And what comes to mind is the measure twice, cut once thing. Is if you're not that, don't necessarily have that mindset, it may end up costing you either in dings or broken parts, or parts that get damaged accidentally, or other issues. If you are not, you don't have to be super meticulous, but if you don't take care and double check what you're doing, since it's the first time you've ever done it, to make sure that you end up with something that you're happy with and are proud to say, yep, I did this. And it works well, and it works reliable.
Here, Dano. Here.
Anything else from Michael? Or if we put him to bed?
No, he's out there. Talking about potentially people moving out there.
From one state to another?
Yeah, and that's sort of what it's looking like.
How we know he's a good dude? He's Army.
Oh, there you go.
Army chats, civilized, intelligent. Just saying.
And G, I got to be honest with you. After because the AR was the first firearm I ever bought myself, right? And it was one of those things where I had done a lot of air quotes research, whether reading online or in magazines or whatever, about ways to do stuff. And since it was like literally, I don't know, it was the October before the December of Sandy Hook, so like everything was kind of golden at that exact moment, but then things took a shit literally 2 months later. And it was just one of those things where I didn't want to build my first one. I wanted to start with something that was whole, complete, had a warranty. I kind of thought a little bit about what you were saying about the law implications, and that was one of the reasons that I had decided at that time that a fully manufactured one from the company or whatever, at least for the first one, it was going to be the right answer for me specifically. I can't really put that on anybody else, but for me, that was what seemed the best choice for me. Would I ever make one? Of course. Sure. But that's probably also not going to be the one that if I had ever... Well, I don't know. If I had to count on it, wouldn't you want to still be able to count on it, though? If it was one that you made?
What are you talking about? Rifles?
Like when you're talking about making your own, like rolling your own or whatever. I mean, you still want to be able to count on it if you needed it, right? Because otherwise it's borderline a range tool or a wall hanger. And I guess if that's what it's going to be, then your own personal level of quality control would suffice. If that's
Marines are a necessary necessity.
Somebody has to,
what's going on out there?
Somebody has to take all the broken crayons and get rid of them.
There's Marines. There's a necessity for Marines. We couldn't live without Marines. That's for damn sure. But I'm just thinking the way that the Navy created the Marines, right? The Marines are, well, I guess, did we have Marines first? We actually might have had Marines first.
We definitely had Marines first, didn't we?
But I kind of
they were on merchant ships before we had a Navy.
Well, I know that we had, I don't know. I don't really pay attention because they're not my branch. But all I'm saying is the Air Force is sort of like our Marines. If you think of the Navy as their Marines, we have the Air Force because we started the Air Corps. They were the Army Air Corps, and then we finally said, okay, just go be your own thing. So they come from us.
That is true.
So we can't have any really animosity with the Air Force since they are kind of our kid. And
Sure.
I guess the Coast Guard would be from the Navy, right? So there's sort of like there was Navy and there was Army, people on the boats, people on the land. And then eventually we started flying around, so we let them be their own thing.
Yeah, I suppose if they need to hang out, they need to hang out over there.
Dano has no comment on that, or else Dano also went to the store.
No, actually, I'm laying on the couch, relaxing.
You been doing stuff all day?
No, it just that it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning here, and I'm a little tired.
Oh, I got you.
I was actually trying to sleep earlier, and I couldn't sleep, so I got up and I saw you guys are out here, so here I am.
You work today?
No.
Two things. All right, I think I interrupted Z in the middle of something now. So as far as having a legit rifle for having as a go-to, right, everybody walked away.
I'm sorry. Why I walked away? What was that, G?
I interrupted you, I think, and you were saying something about having a legit go-to rifle or something.
Well, you know, that was the theory at the beginning when I purchased my first one as opposed to building it. It was like Michael's saying about there is the mission was to have it done right. I was counting on a level of manufacturer, you know, where you're counting, you're putting some weight on that. I don't think that it's not that I couldn't make one. It's just for my first one and my go-to one, I wanted it, you know, like all the checks to line up, basically, was my theory on that. And that's why I went with the store-bought over a build.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I think that's the way to go. And then once you've got a bunch of them, then it's impractical to keep buying them. Plus, for one, they're not configured the way it's perfect, you know, exactly the way you want them, unless they happen to be. And then you're paying the excise tax, if nothing else, but you're usually paying a little something extra. So I can definitely see, whatever, rolling your own, making your own ARs. But
yeah, I mean, I definitely see the value to it.
Originally, though, was what's the best shotgun? And that's where I was like, shotguns are stupid. And then he said, "Oh, what would you use instead?" I said AR, and then he started asking about the AR. So
yeah,
basically,
and I agree 100% with you on that, dude.
I never liked shotguns. Honestly, they just don't like them. They're too big and way too much gun for the amount of usefulness. Where with a rifle, it's a lot of guns still, but you can put a light on your rifle. You can carry a lot of extra rounds. Again, everybody likes to suggest that they know how it's going to go down. And it almost always involves waking up in your bed, grabbing the thing at your leisure, going out in pursuit of the bad guy who has somehow alerted you, but also just barely got in the living room, right? So that's always how it is. The guy's never like clubbing you with your own baseball bat as you're in bed. The guy's never outside beating the shit out of your neighbor or, you know, doing something horrible outside or in another far distance from you or anything. So there's all these things that are super variable. So if a bad guy ends up getting you outside, then I can see where having an AR would be ultimately useful. And you can sling an AR and still be in absolute control of it and have it absolutely safe and still have it completely out of your way, so you still have both hands. But all this being said, your circumstances are going to be different depending on how many stories you have, right? What kind of navigation you have through your house. Some people are like hoarders, can barely get through hallways. Other people, you know, have sparse, huge houses, dogs, kids, neighbors, building materials, how fast the police might show up. What, you know, are you right next to two different targets that you might be mistaken for, so that you might have a SWAT team coming in the front door? I mean, who knows where kind of situations people are in. So all those things being said, we're all talking generalities. I just always don't like 5 rounds of shotgun that could go anywhere, that are totally indiscriminate, can be taken from you. Almost nobody puts a sling on their shotgun, so now you're holding this big stupid thing, and it's usually heavy. So I like AR. 223 stops in walls, stops in appliances, stops in televisions, loses its energy in the first thing. You're an army, so you've got the manipulation and the manual of arms down. you know, somebody tries to grab a rifle barrel from you, doom on them. They try to grab a shotgun barrel from you, like after a couple of minutes, they can't, right? So that's my rifle issues. Or my rifle position, I guess.
So no, wait, were you implying that the end of the barrel end of a rifle, was it the heat portion or just manipulation?
Yeah, me and got into this whole thing, and I forgot which side everybody came down on, but basically some people suggest that if you carry a rifle around and you're doing room clearing, or somehow the bad guy gets your rifle, you pull backwards and shoot into the guy's abdomen. And if he is holding your barrel, number one, he got shot in the abdomen by a rifle, and number two, rifle barrels get hot real fast. And
real fast.
You don't just hold on to them. Shotgun barrels get hot for a moment and then cool down pretty quick. That's all I'm saying. And in the heat of something, I could see somebody holding on to a shotgun barrel potentially. But
I would agree with that observation.
I mean, total specific. Who cares? You know, maybe probably
right.
But
you think we could put it? Could we fit a barrel roll in there somehow, like Captain Kirk?
Well, this topic would not be complete if we did not at least touch upon the use of a high caliber. That's not the right term, but pistol for home defense.
So, in other words, not a shotgun, not a rifle, but a pistol.
Yeah, I mean, simply because it doesn't. A rifle and a pistol both require two hands to properly use it. Where a pistol you can use with either hand. If one's injured, one's holding a child, one's doing something else. One hand's on the phone, one hand's on a gun.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think that I don't necessarily agree with you on those stances.
I believe the effectiveness of the rifle is more of a benefit than the single-handedness of the pistol.
Well, I'm thinking you can hold a rifle. You can hold someone at bay with a rifle with one hand in your arm, your armpit, your arm, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? You can hold a rifle with one hand pretty effectively, unless you're beat up. And you can hold somebody's definitely, you know, stand there. I'm pointing a rifle at you with one hand and get on a phone. So it's not impossible. If you don't need to hold somebody, again, you can sling it and you have both hands free. With the pistol, my problem is that unless you're going to holster up, which most people in their little, you know, home invasion scenario don't put a holster rig on or anything, and don't have something like a guide holster, you know, something that goes around your shoulders like an old World War II pilot's holster, you know, because that could easily be by the bed. But if you're not going to holster up, then what are you walking around in your robe if you're that kind of person? Or like most people, probably underwear, shorts, and a t-shirt or something to that effect. So where are you going to put this gun once you actually, you know, most people, if they're lucky, even grabbed a phone. Right now they got something in both hands, so they're not using their gun effectively unless, again, they've got pockets on their shirt they sleep in. Or Sada Ayoub's thing was to keep a bulletproof soft armor next to your bed, and on that soft armor have some sort of like something like what's called a Blue Forest Gear 6-pack, and it's sort of like elastic pockets or something similar, and then keep your pistol in there, keep an extra magazine, keep a light, keep your cell phone, maybe your wallet, and potentially keys. If you're traveling, you can keep all that stuff right next to your bed anyway, so now you put it all in your vest. So number one, if you got to clear your gun or whatever, you have a vest to clear it into. So if you're in a hotel or something, you're aiming it at a vest, right? And then number two, if something does go bump in the night, you put that vest on. So you're wearing armor. You've got your phone, your light, your extra ammo, and your gun. You got a place to put your light, your ammo, your extra light, and your gun. So I like that concept. Of course, that's a little bit more than most people are going to actually follow through on. But that to me sounds like, again, Sada Ayoub, super well thought out.
I say very effective process, or
so clearly you're saying something that I'm not. So I'm just curious. So with the pistol, what with your offhand, what needs to be done that you? I mean, why can't you just hold it down towards the floor? I mean, why do you have to put it down? Period.
Phone, kid, dog, bad guy, doors. Waving to police, please tell you to put it down. People in the neighborhood, I didn't need to bring my gun out. I mean, I could go on. Hot gun.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not gun time, you go back and put it away. I mean,
No, that's Bob's reasoning. That's Yankee reasoning. You're saying in the middle of an altercation, lethal force, you're supposed to be commanding the scene. Now, because you have a gun in your hand, you don't know where to put it. You're going to walk away from a dead bad guy in your house? No.
No, okay. I didn't know we already had a dead guy.
No, I just threw that at you, but I'm just saying you don't always have the opportunity to go back in your room and put your gun down because you're done with it or something.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking I'm still in the house. I'm not going to pursue somebody outside of my home.
Everybody says that, and that's bullshit. Okay.
Okay.
So the guy came in your home, he grabbed your shotgun, he says, "I'm gonna go kill the world." And he runs out of your house. You're not pursuing him. He just ran away with your shotgun. You gave him a lethal weapon. I think it's your obligation to go after that guy.
Okay.
No?
If that thing's loaded, there's no way.
I can't tell if you're trolling me or not, because this is a trap, as Admiral Akbar would say. That's a trap.
I don't know. Is that a thing that could happen, though?
I know we had a conversation that's very much related to this. Is I'm going to get on the phone and call the police immediately.
Well, dude, it depends on what state you live in. The game plan that was just being discussed for a slight moment of you chasing after somebody that stole something from you. Man, it depends on where you live, and where you live, you need to research those laws to make sure that that is a mistake that you do not make.
No, I understand.
I'm not saying that in some states it's not legal or anything like that. I'm just saying each person out there listening needs to do their own due diligence on that and make sure that whatever is required of them in a situation, that they're at least aware of it, even if they can't comply with it at the time that it's needed.
But I do agree with G. Webbs on that there is a natural human inclination to go after somebody stole my cheese. I want my goddamn cheese back.
No. I didn't say cheese. I said specifically a loaded shotgun, and they yelled as they ran out the door, "I am going to kill the world." You've just given them your shotgun. You say you have no obligation to do something about that?
I guess the difference is the doing. And it's a moral obligation. In some cases, maybe a legal obligation.
I don't know. That's
all I was trying to say.
I refuse to accept any argument that tells me that. Well, I forgot what you actually first said. Did you say like, they run out of your house and you're done or something? Like you're not going to pursue them. That's what you said. You're not going to pursue them. I think it's too black and white. So I'm not going to acknowledge that everything. Well, down black and white. Yeah, you're right. No, because there's
too many variables, and we're only talking generalities. I mean, so yeah, I mean, we're never going to run into that exact situation anyway. There's always going to be something different.
Yeah.
Whether it's and I twisted my ankle the day before, or something else. I mean, there's just always variables, which is why these scenario things, although they're helpful to think out ahead of time, you're never going to run into these exact scenarios.
But here's a better one. You have an altercation. The guy, whatever, pulls a gun in your drawer, or whatever. Something happens where the guy's armed and he leaves. As your wife, kid, daughter, son, friend is pulling up in the driveway and through the picture window, you see that guy going directly to their vehicle. You're not going outside to pursue?
Of course I am, because that's defense of another, and it's someone that I love or care about.
Well, okay, that's what I'm saying. So there's places where we are going outside the house. And now I think what we started with, do you wake up a bump in the night and grab all that stuff like Sada you mentioned, or are you running out there with like one gun, no flashlight, no shoes on, no keys, no phone? And
well, if you were unprepared, that is probably what you would grab, right? Like if you were so in the heat of the moment and not prepared for it, that's probably exactly what you would do. That's why it is of benefit to anybody to actually consider some of these things in the hopes that they never happen,
right?
But you're at least aware of some possibilities or options in such situations.
And one advantage of having a partner is being able to say, okay, if something goes up and I grab the baseball bat or the firearm, and hopefully some sort of light source. And slip on something on my feet so I don't step on glass the moment I step out of the bedroom. I want you to be the commander of the phone. and come together with some sort of plan, and gather up if there's a child or children, make sure that you keep them in what is you determine the safest place in your home. I mean, but to communicate whatever.
That's the other thing. Sometimes the safest place for your children may not be in your home.
Right, and I was just going to say, to communicate whatever plan you have, depending on circumstances of which we cannot predict here.
Correct, because there's an infinite number of variables.
The guy comes in and then he leaves. He comes in and he stays. He comes in and he stays, but he's armed. He comes in and he stays and he's not armed. I mean, there's just too many.
Well, he comes in on Tuesday when everybody's home having hamburger helper, or he comes in on Wednesday when everybody is gone on Wednesday. So like it could be just a day.
I take medication before I go to bed for my back every night. I just can't go running after somebody and take somebody on at 57 the way I could when I was 27. So I mean that there are issues like that, age and just general physical health.
And one of the examples of how we were talking about know your state laws and everything, that Michael is out there, and he did say in Texas, because we've had a discussion with, I believe, Matt and some other members of gun channels from Texas. They do have a different than some other states rule about lethal defense of property. Now, I'm going to assume that it probably comes from originally like theft of livestock or something like that, or as opposed to like, say, theft of VCR. But I believe that that's a choice that
I believe
a person has to make.
I come from a different position on that. I think that when you have a state like Texas, which allows the victim to not be a mind reader and to use lethal force when someone enters their house, unlike some of the states that suggest that the victim is the one who has to know what the bad guy is there for, what his intent is.
Oh, I see what you're saying, dude. Because one can never really know what's going on in the mind of the madman, basically, right?
Because he says, if you cooperate, I won't hurt you, it doesn't mean he's telling you the fucking truth.
Well, and exactly. Did you get him to sign a waiver before he came in the door? Did he fill out the questionnaire? Don't forget to fill out this bottom form, sir. Thank you.
So if in my mind, the way I see my perspective on it is when there's no risk of persecution for lethal defense of property, then there's the ball is in the court of the innocent, of the victim, where the bad guy isn't going to be able to fall on I was just there to steal the VCR and he shot me.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it in the past that like you said, a person not knowing what the intent of the criminal is, right? You don't know if he's there to rob you. You don't know if he just came in to kick the door in, to shut the door, to hide from somebody chasing him. You don't know. I mean, shit. He ain't from Publishers Clearinghouse. That much I know, right? We're not putting that into the scenario. Is that correct? Ed McMahon is not literally waiting right there with a giant check.
Again, if you're not required, the victim shouldn't be required to know their intent. So yeah, if they're not going to make it perfectly clear what they're there to do.
And that's like in Michigan, where we have a castle doctrine type thing. Those words are thrown around a lot.
You sure it's not called a snow castle doctrine?
It might be snow fort,
ice castles, like that little skating movie that
I have an igloo doctrine. But anyways, the basic, the way I've heard it explained is that, kind of echoing what Jewels was saying, is that you have probable cause that they're there to do you harm. Like, they've already showed at least some intent by illegally entering your house. It's justified to assume they're there to do you harm. So you don't have to wait to even see a knife, see a gun. You can just assume they have one and they're going to use it. So therefore, you can defend yourself in any means that you can.
See, and I do not live in that state. I live in a state where, although I do not have a duty to retreat, I think I have to do everything in my power, and only as a last resort is like lethal force. And I was going to say, I don't even want to say it's accepted, because you are still going on trial. You are still going to court. You just might maybe beat it depending on circumstances. If not, you, the victim, are then going to prison, which
So
is insane.
to summarize a talk that I saw from Asada, which I encourage everyone to try and find. It's like a 20-minute speech. It's something about like stand your ground laws or something like that. It showed up around the time the Trayvon thing, when people were like, "Oh, stand your ground means shoot first, ask questions later," blah blah blah. He was kind of there to dispel it, but he talks about the three things. This is very general. It's not every state or whatever, but like basically these are accepted. The three things needed for like a justified self-defense, and basically it is the bad guy has to have intent, to do you grave bodily harm or kill you, opportunity, and oh my god, what the hell was the thing? I just had it. Intent, opportunity, and ability. So the ability would be, does he have a weapon? That gives him the ability. Opportunity means, is he close enough to you to use that weapon? The knife 21-foot rule, all that kind of stuff. Because he used the example of, and then intent, you have to pretty much know, is he actually trying to hurt you or whatever. So the example he gives, there's a dude he's in a big audience. He goes, there's a dude in the back of the stage. He has a knife. Okay, there's ability. He yells out, "I'm going to kill you, Masada Ayub." That's intent. He doesn't have opportunity. He's still 200 feet away. You can't shoot him from that thing. Now, if you thought maybe he had intent to harm someone in the back of the theater, you could try and take that shot. So, but he said, but basically, if he's just coming after me, once he rushes the stage, and he kind of pointed, he goes, by the time he gets to those steps, which is about 20 feet away, now he has opportunity, and he still had those first two. So if you think of it in that way, they have to have those three things. The Castle Doctrine basically says you're justified in assuming intent. So they don't have to yell out, "I'm going to kill you." Just the action of entering your house, you can assume intent, and you can assume ability. So, yeah, I can. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. So that's kind of the way to look at it. And then, the opportunity being he's in your house, therefore he has the opportunity to then act on those actions.
Now, the one kind of caveat that kind of plays with those rules a little bit is disparity of force, because his fists are a weapon. Even if he's not a big guy, he doesn't have to be a big guy to take your head and bang it against the granite.
Right. Well, that's almost because he got into a lot of disparity of force. That's a subcategory of ability, because one form of disparity of force is, it's 3-on-1. There's 3 bad guys versus you, and they just have hands. Like, so people would say, well, they don't have weapons, they're unarmed. Yeah, but there's 3 of them, 1 of you. That's disparity of force. Or you're disabled, or you are small statured and they're super muscular. The kind of the thing that he also had mentioned, again, I'm probably doing a bad job, so don't take this as gospel. I really encourage, I'll try and look it up in a minute here, but I'm in the middle of doing something else. Like 2 equally matched guys in a fist fight, you kind of can't just shoot them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no disparity of force, and it's arguably is a fist fight intent to do grave bodily harm. I mean, it might be like, hey, I'm going to punch you 2 times and then it's over. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I mean,
but you never know if that dude's going to punch you twice or a million times, though.
And by that time, it's too late. So I don't know if I 100% agree with that, but that's the way he described it. Is like a fair fight, you can't escalate the amount of force.
Yeah, but if he's in your home and I'm gonna, for the sake of this discussion, I'll say he's thrown the first punch. Again, we're going back to he has already clearly shown intent to do great bodily harm.
Okay, Dano, I got one for you then. They're 5 foot even, and you're well over 6 foot. You outweigh this person by 100 pounds potentially. Yet they're the stupid SOB that decided to kick in your door and start some shit. You can't tell whether they're armed or unarmed, and maybe initially they appear unarmed. What is your, and of course this is a shitty scenario. This is almost trying to find the chink in the armor, so to speak. Like, what's the plan, man?
You would need to tell me more about the victim.
The victim is you or me, or like I'm saying, somebody that's well over 6 foot against
health issues.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough, actually. And that's a valid variable to consider as well, because if you are not physically able to potentially engage, then I imagine you have to do what you have to do to keep yourself safe and or defend yourself to whatever degree you need to.
Yeah, I'm
just saying, like, you know how G was talking about like being in court and stuff like that? Like, I'm 6'3", man. If I guess I shouldn't be worried about having to consider these things, but that's one of those things that, especially out here, not everybody's 6'3" out here. It's just sometimes, I don't know. I agree with you that you cannot escalate it.
Some of us are 6'3", and some of us are tall.
Right. I'm not tall. I'm medium height.
Yeah, it's strength and physical conditioning and health, not height.
Man, I'm gonna say it's all of those as opposed to not any one of those, because
ladies
height
like
in physics.
Ladies like height.
Well, technically, they like the length, sir, but it's all in how you measure it, I guess. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? Is that, like, if there's a
I'm not trying to worm out of answering your question. I'm just because what determines everything is not just what the attacker is doing. It's the specifics of the victim that also play a major role in determining.
And that is the truth. Yeah. As a matter of fact, each case as it would come up would be based on either the faculties or abilities of said victim. Right? You know how we say case by case basis? That's exactly it, because everybody is different. Everybody else has a certain different skill set.
The teeter-totter of does disparity of force have a place in that decision-making process or not? There's all sorts of unknown factors at that instant that neither side knows the answers to.
That's true. I mean, what if you happen to be in a chair? And when I say a chair, I'm referring to a handicapped person.
Yeah.
And the idea of physically defending yourself could be a possibility. It might not be a possibility. God rest his soul. That crazy robot talking cosmos black hole looking guy that just died the other day. Like, there would be no way that Stephen Hawking could ever defend himself physically. He might be able to blast him psionically or something before he died. That I don't know, because he had a brain on him. But that's one of those situations where, of course, that dude would be at the total, I don't want to say total whims of the bad guy, but potentially, as a person. I do think it's important, though, to whatever your physical level of ability is, that it's something that should be maintained to a degree, if at all possible, on whatever level it is. I'm not saying everybody has to walk around like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean, if we are all lucky enough to live a long life, sooner or later we will have some sort of issues with our physicality. It's just a matter of when, not if. If you live to 110, you're not going to be jumping up and kicking your feet in the air.
If I live to 110, I'm going to turn to stone, brother. Like, for real. That's exactly how that would happen. Yeah, you seem like you're muted, partner.
Yeah, I believe Smeggy's having microphone issues, just for the audience, as far as why he may not be speaking. So just be aware.
Oh, I thought this was the part of the night when his mouth froze over.
That could be.
He's a snowman.
And you know what? It's been pretty cold over there, so anything's possible. How you doing, Moon?
All right, what's up?
You couldn't sleep, or did you normally get up this time of the day to get to work?
No, I just woke up and probably don't have work today because there's a snowstorm coming, and everybody's scared to go drive on the roads.
As they will. Not everybody's used to salt and 4 lanes of slush. How's your snow removal crew around there? Effective or meh?
They've been pretty good lately.
I would think, because snow is a regular thing out there, so they'd have to be at least minimally acceptable.
Yeah, they've actually been a lot better in my neighborhood than out on the roads lately. You can look out in my neighborhood and see the road, and then drive out of the neighborhood and be on big slushy roads. Well, it depends.
I'd have to say I hadn't had to shovel in a little while. I still remember what it was like, though. Snow days. G, can we hear you?
What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you.
And hear the lamentation of the women. That is correct. And it ain't a fleet horse. It ain't the fucking wind in your hair. It's not the open step. Sorry, buddy. And of course, thank you.
That's from Conan, the movie about a barbarian.
About a
And a
barbarian?
And a surfer. And a ballerina. By one of the greatest director of all time.
What if your name was Conan and you were from Barbados? Would you be Conan the Barbadian?
You would be.
Barbadian.
Yeah, I don't know what a Barbadoan is called. Or would that be a? I don't even know how would you say Barbagander? Because at least when you're from Michigan, you're a Michigander. I don't know how you would be a.
Yeah, but some other states are ites.
And noise.
So maybe it's a Barbadite.
Barbanoise.
But I want to narrowcast here to Michael for a minute. He's saying that, oh, maybe I'll jump in sometime, but not on a panel like this. It's too intimidating. Dude, man, you think I just showed up one day and was at the same level as everyone else? Like, I just jumped into a chat one time and got to know the people. So it's not as hard as you might think. Like I said, I'm not necessarily pushing you. I just don't want you to be scared of us. We're normal people. We're not freaking movie stars or whatever. I mean, I know I'm super famous, but I'm not.
Well, you can't smell anybody's breath either, so it won't be so bad.
I will probably eat your face off after sniffing some bath salts. If you join.
Yeah, but that's not because you're super famous. That's just because of,
bath salts.
craziness.
And we're all glad we can't smell Bob.
I've smelled Bob, so you can say that.
He's not
See,
American.
There's no we in that, is what G is saying. There's no we in that statement.
Many times, actually.
No matter how many you wash that, how many times you wash that hoodie, it still smells like Canadian. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's all right.
But I had something earlier when we were talking the home defense stuff again.
About how there's merely 31 minutes left in one of the auctions, 20 minutes left in the other auction.
What are you buying?
Okay, we can mention that in the eBay auctions. Go over there onto the eBays and check out GWeb's auction.
I can't put a link; it kills the eBay link. See what happens. It won't even post it. You have to put it in like the description, or I don't know how to get them out there. Or wait, linking it now?
Did you try the night strike trick?
Yeah, it linked it, dude.
It did. So why is it not linking? Maybe because you have to be a big enough channel to link an eBay auction?
I don't know.
I was trying to do it from the Daily Gun Show before, and it wouldn't let me.
Oh, it said this item is not available.
Oh,
It
really?
has been removed.
What?
That's what it says when I click the link. Saying.
They removed
see,
your item.
I don't think they did. My item is still there. So I think it's because it's pulling the link. Oh, yeah. It changed it to some whole other number.
Okay.
It gives three couple different possibilities.
Do the night strike trick. He says he puts a hashtag after the link or something, and it works.
Yeah, he said that. Let me try that. So put this in.
I like taking off the www part. I'd take all of that off. I'd take it just down to ebay.com and whatever's after it.
Try that one.
So there's a couple auctions, and I told people if they get to 50, they'll throw in that extra van patch. But one of them's at 40. We'll see.
Dang.
If they'll get a whole bunch of action in the last 20 minutes.
Oh, this one says the same thing.
Yep.
I'll drop them in here, and then...
Well, are they over on gunchannels.com in the main feed?
Oh, they are. Yes. You just have to scroll down a little bit.
Nice. Good job, Smeggie.
People keep putting information up there, so you got to scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, so you can get the full Red Dawn sticker pack, AK stickers, and AK trading cards,
hoodies,
playing cards, homemade patches, all sorts of cool stuff. Right now, it's $39, man. What a deal,
man.
What's the other set?
You even got that mini banner.
Mini banner.
Yeah, well, that's what I call it. It's the size of a playing card, except it has the
tassels. Dano digs tassels. You got to understand he's older.
Oh, you mean
pasties were a thing. Tassels are big.
The PVC patch that looks like the back of the card art. I don't know if that's.
No, he's talking about it's the Wolverine, and then it's got
the Wolverine one.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
okay.
looks like.
Then it's the ones you can talking about. The one with the dingleberries.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Tassels. It's a little more classy than a dingleberry.
It's got a knot in it, so if a tassel would be knotless.
Well, what did I describe?
Well, I don't know about all that now, mister. I think you're splitting hairs on that one, but okay.
Well, it is how you get the berries is because of the hairs. But anyways, we're going to keep this one classy.
Nice.
But I appreciate you letting me find that.
I was gone that whole time. It's probably why it went off the rails. I was heating up my coffee.
I am glad to see that it's moved up.
Man, you woke your kid up at 4 in the morning to heat up your coffee?
Yep.
A little beat. You like texting.
Because we all know you make your kid get you coffee.
Once the sun's up, could you send your kid over here to fire up mine?
It's a long walk.
I gotta get like a
if
rooster.
He brings a shovel, he can make some money on the way.
No doubt. That's good. The coffee's going to get cold though, Dan.
Because we got nothing here. And I'm in between the two of you, so
you're lucky.
Yeah, there's nothing here either. It all came like southern Illinois.
No snow here currently. On Maui, not necessarily the state of Hawaii, just Maui. No snow at this point.
No in Tucson at the moment. No snow in Tucson.
All right.
Now, anybody that thinks it doesn't happen, hey, we had snow this year on Maui, so whatever.
Actually, I think I have to get my NPR voice with weather on the 22s. Thank you for checking into the Smeggie Cave. That's a pretty good NPR voice, isn't it?
I don't know. Right?
Absolutely. I don't know.
Now we're going to talk to
sounded a little left.
Thingabagadu about the current administration and their policy that guns are cool. Oh, wait, that's not their policy because they suck.
So your NPR voice is all about the cadence.
Turns into Night Strike at the end.
Yeah. Shall I be infringed?
That sounded like Night Strike?
When did we start hurling
Just from,
insults
like-
at each other around here like that?
It goes
Oh
from,
man, the
William
Daily
to
Gun
Dad
Show's been
in
chaos since you left. See, and this is basically Daily Gun Show upgrading Bob to Moon, which is like the best trade
Which
ever.
is the best trade ever.
So you guys are in for a treat, you viewers.
All how many?
Yeah, we got 8 right now,
Right on. I'm one of them.
but they're active. That's what I like.
Yeah, the
when-
chat's
I like when you
rolling,
guys
dude.
talk along. There's been times it's just been me, and I've kept the thing going for an extra hour before I went to bed because you guys are still talking. But anyways, I was gonna bring up
regular viewers.
from back in to leaving your house and self-defense and all that kind of stuff. So I've told this story before. I think maybe some of you guys in the panel have heard it, but I'd like to get your opinion on it as well. You know, just restate it or whatever. So at one time, I believe it was summer. Yeah, it was because my window was open. I'm laying in bed. It's 4 in the morning or whatever. It's back when I actually slept at night, and I hear some yelling from outside. It wakes me up, and it's my neighbor yelling at his friend. I guess his friend, they ended up getting in a fight over something or whatever. And I hear my neighbor yelling like, "Dude, just leave. Like, you're on parole. I'm about to call the cops. Like, I don't want you to get arrested, but just leave. Like, it's over." And the guy's like, "Oh, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. You suck, or whatever." And, my neighbor's wife's out there on the porch, and she's yelling like, "I got the phone in my hand, motherfucker. Like, I'll do it, blah, 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 whatever, all this shit." And he's trying to get him to leave, and he's yelling all this stuff. And then I'm sitting there going like, God, should I jump into this? Like, if it's just like a tussle, like I don't want to get punched in the face for like, all I know, maybe my neighbor was the asshole that started it. I have no idea what's happening, right? I just know, my neighbor's trying to get this guy to leave, and he's trying to be nice because he's his friend and saying like, "Listen, I know you're going to go to jail if the cops show up right now." Maybe he had drugs on him or something. I don't know. But like, he's clearly saying like, "Dude, I don't want you to go to jail. Just leave. I know you're on parole," all this kind of shit. And I'm like, God, I don't know what to do. And I'm like considering it. I got my pants on, and I'm like, I'll at least put, I'll put my jeans on. And I'm figuring I could grab, my inside waistband holster. I keep my gun in the holster when I go to bed at night. So it's like I can just grab that and put it on my pants in case it does escalate. And basically what ends up happening, they roll around on the ground a little bit. I guess that was the part. Once they actually started like touching each other, I'm like, all right, I can at least like be a good witness or whatever. So I'm getting ready to run out. And the I'll call him the bad guy, but like the friend, he goes into the garage and grabs a freaking golf club and takes a swing at my neighbor, which right there, it switched from like just a tussle between friends that, whatever, into like, this dude could have killed my neighbor. You get hit in the head with a driver, like that's no good. And right then and there, the cops rolled up and like it was over. I was like at my front door when I saw the cops roll up, and at that point, I'm like, all right, I don't want to walk out there with a gun. Yeah, sure. So what would you guys do? Like, I don't know. Did I wait too long, or did I do the right thing and not get involved? It turned out okay, I guess. I mean, the dude on parole ended up going to jail, and he was messed up or whatever. Like, he had drugs and stuff. So, he was kind of a bad guy. But what do you guys think of that situation? I still to this day don't know if I did the right thing by waiting a little bit, or am I a pussy for not running out the first second I heard the thing? I don't know.
I would have been trying not to burn my popcorn while I was watching the show so that I can eat the popcorn and watch it. But yeah, I don't know what I would do.
I mean, ethically, I would have, as a bare minimum, tried to have been a good witness as a bare minimum. But again, I don't know. There's some things that, and I'm sure it's hard to judge time factors, stuff like that. So I can't place a judgment as far as right or wrong, as far as the next part. But you were clearly heading in a direction of things are escalating. So you felt the need to potentially be in defense of another. So you were slowly escalating yourself. but that's a personal decision that we each have to make for ourselves. I mean, if somebody who's married and has a bunch of kids relying on them versus somebody who's not in that situation, does not have that baggage, but still, it's an individual decision. It's to your own ethics and morals, and what makes go time for you.
Number one question: does my neighbor have a pool?
No, but he had a trampoline.
Does my neighbor invite me over for barbecues? And vice versa. Is it that neighbor?
Okay, so here's the thing. My neighbor is the neighbor that I wave to and say hi because I don't want him to break into my house because he had a drug problem as well. So it's like it was nice half the time, but that's part of the reason I didn't want to get. I had no idea what they were fighting on. For all I know, I'm going to show up in defense of my neighbor or something. And they're both out. He stole 1,000 pounds of coke from the other guy. Like I have no idea what's going on.
But he's still a human being, though.
That's all right. So that is when I make sure that all the FLIR sensors are working. I use my infrared cameras. I turn on the floodlights, and I tell them if they're in my fucking yard to get off my fucking lawn.
Yeah, well, they were.
And then I let the dogs loose. All right.
They were nowhere near my house. I was not on the radar. So that's the point where I'm at. It's like.
I don't think you can interdict legally, dude. Yeah. I think, dude, if you walked out that door, even if your shit was in a holster or whatever, man, like that is, you may win the criminal case. You ain't winning the civil case on that.
Well, in Michigan, if you win the criminal case, there is no civil case.
Wow. Okay. Well, then I am mistaken on that because anywhere where that is not the case, you are so getting cornholed in the civil case.
Because I mean, I would go with. Listen, I went out to see what's going on. I always conceal carry. Like I have my permit.
But why do you need to go see what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, how is that a requirement?
I mean, turns out it did kind of escalate when the dude grabbed the freaking golf club.
Well, then how is calling the police not the first thing, and then using your cell phone camera maybe to be a credible witness?
I mean, I can make an ethical justification for that, Z, and that's and I briefly mentioned it, but you have one human on his property, and someone else came to his property and commenced doing potentially serious bodily harm.
I hear what you're saying, and I definitely hear what you're saying, and I think that there may be a certain way where that is legally justified for you to do so. I'm just saying that you have usually no legal recourse to do such a thing. Right. It is not incumbent upon you, and it is not required of you of your job.
I'm only
right now. If you're an off-duty police officer or whatever, of course, it's totally different. It's a different set of rules.
I don't mean legally. I just mean ethically.
I hear what you're saying, but in my opinion, you have to weigh both because that's like each side of the scale.
Sure.
But
Smeggie asked us to not judge him, but
right
situation.
And of course, Smeggs, I was joking about all that stupid shit I said.
And concern for your fellow man is a generally good trait we consider in people.
And see, my thing is like one neighbor is these somewhat little and older wonderful Filipino grandpa and grandma and stuff like that, and my other neighbor then is like in her 60s or something like that. So if I saw anybody pulling a golf club on either one of those sets of people, again, I'm this dumb guy. I'm probably not taking a firearm outside. I probably not feeling. I may be feeling overconfident in the fact that I would not need it to deal with whatever the situation may be. Now, granted, this is just because we were talking. You literally said one person, golf club, stuff like that. Now, if it was more than one person or something like that, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to take time to be able to call the police. If it's either one of my neighbors that I care for that much, that I care for a lot,
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, the cops were already on the way. You know what I mean? Because
That helps a
wife
lot.
had already
actually.
called the cops.
I think the person would have to be beating a child, a kid, or an unconscious person for me to step in before the
Or
police.
grandma or something, right?
Yeah,
Like
someone
clearly.
with total.
That they can't defend themselves or something,
Yeah.
you know, where they're physically unable to do so.
I guess the part where I'm kind of second guessing is the fact that it went from like rolling around on the ground, which whatever, guys will be guys, they're dumb. And here's the other thing. I guess I forgot this part. They had been hanging out all night. Like it's not like the friend had just showed up at 4 in the morning.
No,
Like,
I've
they
seen
had
that
had
story.
a bonfire earlier in the night. I actually talked to him for a couple minutes. That's how I knew that the guy was already over there. And then, oh, that's you, Michael? Okay, sure. Yeah, I sent you a link, buddy. That's why I said just don't be dumb because I'm not quite sure who you are. But if you're Michael, yeah, you're cool in the chat. You'll be cool talking. So yeah, go ahead, jump in. Anyways, so it's like they had been partying all night, and then the dude was planning on spending the night, and then something happened, and that's when the fight started. So that's because that's the other thing. If it's just some dude, like I don't know where this guy came from, like he rolled up on someone at 4 in the morning,
Right.
well, that's a little bit different. Like maybe he already showed up with a beef, but they were hanging out a couple hours before, no problem.
It got to be, oh, I'm just going to stay the night. Yeah, you can stay the night. Wife said, you ain't staying the night. Well, where am I supposed to fucking go? I'm all drunk. I can't drive home now. You want me to fucking leave?
Maybe the fight started.
You cocksucker.
Maybe the fight started because he didn't bring the beef, and they were
Right?
supposed to bring a platter for this party.
Yeah,
A dish to
just
pass.
I
A dish
don't
to
know.
pass.
Well, I'm gonna have to take my exit from the cave for tonight. So thanks, Meg. Great conversation. Unexpected in the middle of the night or early morning. But I'm gonna have to bow out. I do have to get some sleep before I wake up for the day. So have a
Take
good
care,
one, guys.
Dano. Aloha,
John.
buddy.
Yeah, see you,
Peace
Dano.
out.
Thanks for your points of view on stuff.
Yep.
So I don't know. I guess, like I said, I just kind of going back to it. Just the situation of rolling around on the ground to golf club was just ridiculously fast, and that's where I'm saying I went from my window to the front door. I saw him take one swing and miss, and I'm like, that second swing might connect. And by the time I got to the front door, the cop showed up. So it's like, if that timing wouldn't have worked out, then I would have been, running towards them because you're swinging a club at a dude who's on. Because my neighbor was on the ground at this point. So it's like you're swinging a club at someone who's on the ground. That's where I'm at least yelling at him. I'm hoping I don't have to pull the trigger and he drops the club. But like,
So are you saying you're walking out the door and then drawing? Is what you're saying? Yes.
if he was from where I left and made the decision to go outside, picture one dude on the ground, the other one standing over him with the
I'm
club
seeing
over
it.
his head. So yeah, I'm drawing out the door because I mean my front yard's not that big, so within 5 steps I'm, in a
Imagine you're drawing and you're telling him to stop. You're giving a command to stop.
exactly in my best fake authorian voice I have.
Fun. I might not be a cop, but God damn it, I'm gonna play one on TV right now.
Yeah. So, but anyways, whatever. That was
In
that was to kind of.
The person's about to commit a violent felony, and you have the right to stop him.
Yes. Yeah, man,
Exactly.
that's heavy duty shit too, because here's the other thing. You said it's the neighbor you waved to and shit. Now, for whatever reason you said that you waved to him, that's your own.
Yeah,
but
he's
you
a
would
nice enough
probably
human.
I would
not
say you'd probably prefer to not see them get beaten to death by some person they know with a golf club. That's not really something you want for your
Right.
Saturday night. So much.
Even if they're not the most upstanding citizen.
Exactly. Most everybody on this planet deserves a shot, and I mean a shot at living. I don't mean like a liquor shot or a gun shot or anything like that.
So
everybody
I don't know.
deserves at least a chance.
And it's one of them things that's always kind of been in the back of the head is if I would have went out during the yelling part, would have even gotten to the rolling around part, would it have even gotten to the golf club part, or does my neighbor turn to me and say, "Hey, stay out of it"? Now it's 2-on-1, and I just jumped into something that I don't even know what's going on.
Well, and here's the other thing: if they were rolling on the ground, you are not walking out that door drawn. In my opinion,
no, exactly. I wouldn't have been at that stage. I would have, but I still I thought enough to at least grab it because I don't know where this is going. And like I said, if the cops show up and they're still just standing there yelling at each other, I can just wave to the cop and say, "Oh, I'm just observing. I happen to be carrying because we do have a duty to inform." But I always carry. That's not like I always had intent to go shoot someone.
Cause fucking trouble, yeah.
Right. So I don't know, but we can drop it now. That's fine. I appreciate your guys' insight, unless you have more to say. And I just want to welcome Michael onto the panel. How's it going, man?
It's going good. How are y'all?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Aloha.
All right. Awesome. You can hear me.
Yep, sound good.
Yep.
Great. Last time I had jumped on with Midnight Range TM. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but oh my gosh.
Travis?
Nobody likes his chats. They're always like goopy with cheese, and they smell sauce.
Don't-
I always have a
Don't
tummy.
talk any shit about cheese. Don't talk no shit about cheese, man.
Well, yeah, I had a lot of trouble with my microphone. I'm not a professional like you guys.
I love it.
Damn, coming in with the jokes right off the bat. He thinks we're professional. I mean,
Hey,
some of
man.
us might be. I sure as hell ain't.
We watch you on YouTube, you know? It's as professional as
There
it
you
gets
go.
nowadays.
I'm a professional YouTube celebrity with my 200 subs and my 8 people watching.
Yeah, but just think about how many people you reach, you know, after the show, after the live stream. Maybe they're not here now, but how many people hit on your show and find something new? I mean, that's crazy. You can't do that with regular TV.
That is a true statement.
Yeah, you don't get that. You don't get the voice out there, the voice of the actual people.
Yeah, but sometimes that voice is Bob.
Hey, I like Bob.
Hey, I like Bob too, but that does not discontinue or discount anything that comes out of that dude's mouth sometimes.
He's a good grumpy guy.
I will, you know what? There's definite value to that. I will agree.
So, Island, I'm not familiar with you. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do.
Yes, it's called Smeggie42.
Right, I've already subscribed to you, Smegs.
I didn't ever do like regular videos, but and it's going to be a used to, I think, well over a year now ago. Do host like chats for like the lobby and stuff like that. I used to do a late night show, sort of the late shift.
Roger that.
But it's Hawaii Volcano Squad.
No, it is not.
Are you sure? Because you're the Hawaii guy.
I'm more than
Talk
100%
about Bitcoin
sure.
a lot, remember?
So I subscribe to Hawaii 5-0. All right.
No, Island Z Survivor.
I looked it up. I cannot find it. I'm
It's
not
out
that
there.
smart though. I was
It's
an
all right.
engineer.
It's spelled Weird Island, though, right?
Land.
Well, that's one channel, and then the other channel is literally ISLAND.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Both of them will have the one looks like it's islands.
hmm
At least I think that's what it is. I haven't looked in so long. I haven't made a video in so long. I'm not even sure.
Dude, pull up this YouTube thing and type something in the chat.
Pull up what YouTube thing.
Like the Smeggie Cave video.
And what posted in chat?
Yeah, just like say something in chat because then your name will show up and you
Oh.
can click that and hit go to channel.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna type in something. All right.
Smeggie, so you can pop out the YouTube chat and throw it over on the Google Hangout side?
No, it just opens it as a new window. Here, I'll show you.
So
real
you
quick
can
here.
make it longer. That's
Okay.
what I did with it when I popped it out. I made it longer.
So normally, if you're looking at it, it'd be like over here, right? Little tiny thing.
Right.
There's little dots up here. You click on that and hit pop out chat, and it just makes it a new window. I mean, you can make it a
Got it.
big thing. You can do whatever. I personally just have you know, my browser is this big, and then I leave this space on my over here,
Right.
and I just put it right there.
Awesome.
And then I have obviously my gun channels tab, and I happen to be looking at something real quick. That's why I was got that one open.
I'm still trying to learn how to navigate the gun channels. I just signed up a couple weeks ago, but it's pretty awesome.
It's in the middle of being worked on, so it's sort of like without a lot of cones and stuff, you know, under construction.
Roger that, G-Webs.
You have a good NPR voice.
Who?
Speaking of NPR. Oh my God, I wasn't subscribed to you? How the hell was I not subscribed to you, Z? I like super apologize.
Oh, no worries, man.
But anyways, I
I'm not
was just
subscribing to that guy until I get Hawaiian coffee in the mail.
All right, there's Island. And I can hop off the YouTube page that's actually showing the stream, right? Without messing everything up.
Right, yeah, and you can still have the chat box open.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's enough for me for trying to I don't want to ruin the stream.
Oh, that's all good. Oh, that was just... All right, so now that we got some new meat in here, it's question time, buddy. And I'm going to go with just a standard opening question.
Let's do it.
How many walkers have you killed?
No. How many humans? How many zombies? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. No, so what types of shooting do you tend to enjoy the most? Do you long range shotgun, tactical handgun, like, you know, whatever? What do you like doing?
All right, so my story is I did 10 years in the Army, blah, 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 you know. And I never knew that the 2A being in danger was a thing, really. I was oblivious. You know, I was in my own little world. It's like weapons are all around in the Army. It's not a big deal. And when I got out recently, like last year, I was like, I'm going to go get me a gun. And so, of course, you go to the YouTube to check out what's going down, what's the good stuff out there. I didn't necessarily want a Beretta.
Yeah, Moon, no Berettas.
No, not that they're bad. Just not that they're bad. Just that that's what I used for so long. I was like, I want something different. And then you just, you know, you find out everything. Like, okay, 2A's apparently, you know, is under fire like every year. Something's going down with it. And so, long story short, it's only been about a year since I've owned what I own. And I just like shooting.
Very cool.
Yeah,
That's 20. What I like to do.
Yeah, got me a Glock the other day. Like I said, I just picked up a shotgun. Yeah, I know.
I let you into my sanctuary. And you bring this Glock.
I hate to say it, Smegs, you are the minority on your own panel. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. And I
right.
blow up my Glock hatred as a character.
We
I understand they work, they're fine. I don't mind them. I just don't prefer them. Someone giving me one, I wouldn't throw up. I would take it. And I would enjoy it.
Yeah, I went full Glocktard once I got that when I made that purchase. But then just the other day I purchased a shotgun, and that's why I was asking y'all, you know, what do you think about the home defense shotgun, and is it even valid anymore? Apparently it's not.
Man, I still stand. I agree with everything that we had said earlier, but there will be times and places where the shotgun is, like I said, again, like if you're out ranch land or something like that, or forest where you actually have bears and wolves and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these people, they don't live in a situation where that is a thing, so they're not gonna need anything like that. Well, but there will be places and times for it. But I would agree with G 100% that there would be more times where that AR would be a much better choice to for the job.
Right.
But if you don't have one, I mean, if you got
no, that was what I was asking first. You got
two decent options right there. I personally, in that option, would go the handgun route. I tend to agree with Daniel. If the one-handed manipulation is a little bit easier if you have to.
Right.
But I mean, G-Webs brings up good points of the AR with a sling or whatever can be a lot easier as well than holding a gun in your pajamas and like where the heck do you put it or whatever. So there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, I have a couple rifles. They're 22s, so they're made mostly for plinking. You know, I wouldn't say they're going to be my home defense rifles, but
yeah, I would agree. I'd pick up that Glock before I picked up a 22 rifle.
yeah, definitely. I was just
semi-auto bolt action. What kind of?
I got a Marlin bolt action, the XT22, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and a Ruger 1022.
Shit, I think you did pretty good there, son.
Yeah,
You did good.
Yeah, the Ruger 1022 is nice. It's like a tactic cool looking one, and the only reason, I mean, it was used, and it was like a great price, so I was like, I'm going for it.
There's nothing. Hey man, don't feel guilty about that, dude, because think about all the people that are paying full price for that, my friend.
Yeah, you're right.
Slap it in a wood stock anytime you want, right?
Exactly, or a plastic one or whatever. That's the great thing about that whole thing.
Right.
Chassis and frame. Here we go. It's a hot rod if I want it to be, or it's a Sunday driver.
Yeah. Oh man, I just had so much trouble with that Ruger Box 25 magazine. I think it is the
BX 25s.
The BX. There you go. The BX 25. It's just it won't feed for anything, and I'm kind of upset.
What kind of 22 ammo are you using?
To be honest, I think I'm going with the Remington Thunderbolt, which is, it's not cased or anything like that, I guess.
No, and Thunderbolt, if I remember correctly, is one of those ones that can cause malfunctions. And not that it does, but it can. But you're saying it's not feeding whatsoever?
I mean, one round and then it's, failure to feed. Then shoot two more, failure to feed. And I took it back to the place I purchased it, got a new one. And honestly, I haven't even had the chance to take it out yet to test it. So I can't talk too much trash about it.
Oh, well, no worries. You have a completely different rifle at this point. So yeah, that's a totally different experience.
I had that problem with a BX-25 before, but it was just one mag, and my other two worked. I only had 3, but yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not a Butler Creek Hot Lips or whatever, you stand it. And you know what? Actually, they were what was available for what, like 2 decades or a decade or something? Because that BX-25 is only what? Is it 10 years old, G?
Not even yet.
What? A BX-25? No way. 5 years?
Not
5.
3?
Okay. Because I knew it was someone, and I knew that the Butler Creeks were the
technically he
ones
was
from
right
before.
then. It's not 10 years old.
Oh,
right. Yeah, see, I threw it in there. Thanks, Smegs.
I got your back, buddy.
I'm not used to the
Appreciate it.
3D chess.
It's the Michigander in him. We think outside the box.
It was Probert to Fedorov.
Inside the box, but inside the mitten.
That was Chinese checkers.
Probert to Fedorov. Nice.
Yeah,
And,
you're Fedorov, by the way.
I have the last name for it. That works.
Nice.
Although I'm the Vich, not the off. Those are the only 2 options you get in Russia, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
You want to be a Vich or you want to be an Ov?
Or a ski. You're a Vichovsky.
Ski's Polish.
Yeah, right, for the most part.
I'm sure there's some in Russia that are Russian.
Well, because
I'm not Polish, I swear.
No, it'd be Polish Iskavishki. No, Iskavishki-isk. No.
Well, remember, EW makes an F sound in Polish. Because my ex's last name had an EW, and everyone always said it wrong, but it was pronounced as an F sound.
that's an interesting way to swear at somebody.
EWU.
Exactly. EWUCOFF.
EUU. You could, because, order of operations, you can combine the U with the W. That was a Vanessa joke. She appreciated it.
You went deep on the math.
Well, she's a
Did
math
you
nerd.
do all of Foose's new member questions, or were you just not doing that?
I don't remember where the list is. There's a list somewhere. Or
Oh, no.
there used to be a
It's like
list.
on a page.
It's on the channel. It's dead right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what some of the other ones were.
I just assumed Smeggie had them all memorized.
All right. Well, we can
I
help.
just always go with that one because it opens up a good convo of like, oh, you're into long range. What kind of optics do you like? Or I have one of these types. What do you have? Like that, you know. Or oh, you do IDPA? Cool. What thing do you do? Like that's.
Do you have a favorite caliber yet?
Myself,
Yes.
9mm.
That's a very good choice.
Stuck with the NATO round so far. I haven't really branched out. I got a little Ruger 380, and yeah, I don't necessarily like
The
it.
little LCP.
LCP, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the LCP, but I like the LC9. And that's only like a tiny bit bigger. So anything like if you're like, I want a small thing to carry or whatever, like the LC9 fills the same role the LCP does with a little bit better round, in my opinion.
Okay.
Do you gain a round though with the LC9, or do you lose a round with the LC9 compared to the 380?
I don't remember capacity of the LC9. My ex had one, but how much do you have in the LCP?
The LCP is a 6+1.
Man, I think that's what the LC9 is.
I thought I was leaning towards 7, but it might have had, it might come with 2 mags or whatever, where it has like the little bit extended, because that's the one.
Yeah,
hers stuck out. The mag stuck out a little bit and had a little like flare, and I like that because like you know my pinky could actually.
I was gonna say something for your finger to grasp. Yeah.
Yeah, I really have trouble with guns that I'm only hold like you figure you take your trigger finger out of it, you're holding it with like 2 fingers on the one hand.
It's a 7-round magazine for the LC9.
Well, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
So
Well, the 30S, or actually, you know what? We're not going to worry about that. So he has a favorite caliber. What may possibly be an next purchase? I know that's not on the list until farther down, but whatever.
No, I'm saving up right now for Gen 1 Glock 17. No, I'm just kidding. I want one of those, but that wouldn't be my next purchase.
You want those grips? Oh, nice. Okay.
AR, yeah. That's why I was asking about, you know, the BCM CMMG. I thought that was a good brand.
BCM is good. CMMG is iffy. I'm not.
Yeah.
They experiment a lot. So.
Typically, here's how I usually explain ARs. Just broad strokes. The more money they spend on marketing is the less impressive, typically, quality.
So Daniel Defense is not in your top 5.
They are reputable, although they put a lot of effort into marketing, which I don't understand. But yeah, they're definitely trying to compete and give themselves that. Well, think about it. You know, I mean, they got a lot of money to spend on it.
All right. Yeah.
But if you look at the people that are quiet about it, and look at the people who you might respect their, I don't know, opinions on stuff, and then see what they're hawking. And as if they're not the type to be like, this is the brand of jacket I'm wearing, and this is the brand of shoes that I'm wearing, and this is the brand of ammo, and this is the brand of this.
Yeah.
If they're just a regular person doing their thing, and you look at what brands they're using, that's where you see BCMs.
Well, honestly, that's why I gravitated towards, you know, y'all's channels and this community right here, is because of the lack of sponsorship, I guess. I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone's like selling something.
I think it's important at this time to say I am wearing a Mountain Dew t-shirt while drinking some delicious Mountain Dew, which gives me the energy to keep up with these lovely late night Smeggie Cave chats.
I'm gonna say, man, that there are plenty of channels and videos out on the YouTube realm where they will be more than happy to. I don't want to say sell you something, but they might help you just tell you what to buy, I guess, as opposed to, you know, potentially just make a video about the maybe not in the practicality, but just, you know, it functioning well or what have you.
Right.
and not trying to sell it to you. Like literally, it's just somebody at the range, and it's their personal experience on it. Like man, YouTube is a rabbit hole for sure, and there is a lot out there. You can go as much time as you want to spend on it. You could probably spend even more time than that if that's what you wanted to do.
Right. Well,
or at least right now you can. In theory, we're not exactly sure what the enforcement of the new rules are going to be exactly like around here, so we'll see.
yeah, it looks like they're trying to shut down gun channels. I mean, not gun channels, but YouTube channels that are focusing
They're
on.
trying to shut us down. Also, YouTube keeps calling me.
I want to jump on the G-Web's bandwagon with what he had said earlier about that whole thing, because I really want that to be the case, because I've seen what he's talking about, and I know that it does happen that way. And I also know that with the knee-jerk reactionary other side who is more than happy to turn a tragedy into part of their agenda, that basically
about never enough ammo.
No, what you had said earlier, man.
I was talking about him.
G-Webs is connected now.
Oh, someone's asking about the Faygo. Yeah, I'm not drinking Faygo tonight, although that is also a solid choice.
Are you an ICP, or you just like it because it tastes good?
I like it because it's 24 ounces for 99 cents.
ICP, Insane Cave Posse.
Are we accusing Smeggie of being Shaggy Too Dope?
Oh, I was just wondering if he was a juggalo or not. I couldn't tell.
I mean, if you were to look at my CD case in high school, that may be an accurate description.
Smeggie,
but I never saw myself a juggalo.
Smeggie, pop music. Or soda?
Oh, it's pop, obviously.
Thank you.
Michael, pop or soda?
In Texas, we call it Coke, and then we say what kind of Coke we want.
What kind of Coke it is? I want a large Coke. Make it a Sprite.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done that at Whataburger.
Fine choice to get your Coke.
Absolutely. I'm so sad that never made it across the ocean. It's sad.
I don't know if it's made it across state lines.
Man, I thought it got out of Texas, but Texas is pretty big.
I doubt it has. If anywhere, maybe Oklahoma. But that's about it.
Well, you know what? Then they don't even need to know. You know what I'm saying, my friend? Because that's one of them things that you need to go to a Whataburger if you have an opportunity. It's Whataburger? No, it's Waterburger. Whataburger.
Right. It's
what? A burger?
That's like how it's spelled.
Right.
That is not how you say it.
That's how they do the commercials, though. They go, "What? A burger?"
There's actually a burger in the Northeast region around Maryland. It's a little chain, and they have their own little beef going on with that.
And then sometimes they'll go, "What a burger!" They'll be like, "What a burger!" Like that was like,
oh, what a night! Do, 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 do. Late December back in '63. What a very special time for me. Welcome to the cave. I'm weird.
Smeggie, your voice.
It's the karaoke cave.
It's the voice of an angel.
If it is plummeting to the planet because it was thrown out of heaven for making that sound, maybe in that case, sure.
Smeggie has invaded my head. Find myself walking around trying to think of like show tunes, like
oh, be careful! Look out, Smeggie will break your heart. He don't care.
An intro song of some sort. I heard this. The Smeggie and Moon, the Smeggie and Clover songs that he does. 2A is F. I was blown away.
I don't know if I heard that one. I heard that it shall not be infringed, but what's this 2A is F, dude?
You've got to hear it.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Hey, bust it out, bro.
You might want to set on a sawhorse and put up on a bale of hay.
All right.
Oh yeah, I don't know where the twang comes from. Somewhere I don't know where. It just happened in my brain. La 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 la. Sorry, got to warm up there for a minute.
That wasn't necessary. That could have been muted.
It could have been, but I was just joking around. Okay, now I'm laughing much. They're trying to take my guns away 'cause I'm nut shot up a school. And they're trying to take my guns away, but dude, that just ain't cool. I ain't gonna let them take away my right. Put my money where my mouth is and stand up and fight. I'm sorry, Mr. Bloomberg, but you're just out of luck. 'Cause I'm 2A as fuck. Yeah, I'm 2A as fuck.
Shit, awesome job, dude.
There's
That
other
could be on-
verses, but
That could
they're
be on
different.
KDLX out here, no problem.
Like country western, and then it gets vulgar at the very end.
Yeah,
That's all.
That's how you.
That's all good country songs.
Trying to
say
take
country-
my
that's
guns
country with
away because I
edge.
live in New York City. They're trying to take my guns away, but dude, I think that's shitty. Then the chorus.
Bravo.
Excellent.
The verses need to be longer. I don't know if I should take a couple of them and combine them so they're like 4 lines each. But then I feel like that's too much. They're trying to take my guns away because like each line starts with that.
So when can I purchase that on iTunes and or Spotify?
Well, there's
Yeah,
actually
let's do it on YouTube.
a free sampling demo. If you go to my channel, you'll see it. It's called 2A as fuck, and it's a 2-minute video or whatever. It's a work in progress. It's my first draft, so it's kind of like you're getting inside the writer's studio, you know.
Mhm.
It was I
behind
don't
the
want to
scenes.
forget this.
So it sounds like you actually wrote something down then.
They want to infringe our rights, and they ain't gonna stop. Then probably rhyme that with the crude word.
Sorry, I got to mute.
He'll just sing anything you write in there now.
I will. Bring it on.
I thought that was magic. happening.
Awkward silence.
I know you guys are just reveling in the awesomeness.
I think the chat's loving it.
Oh, the smile's ear to ear, bro.
So that was all of my questions. I'm good.
No, there's a
I am not a robot. I swear. Look, I have what looks like an eyeball. No, that's not enough syllables.
I know. I was trying to make it difficult for you.
I am not a robot. I swear, just look. I have what looks like an eyeball. Only had to add one word to make that work.
I'm a lyricist. I had no idea that I could make things flow so well.
Buy stuff from gearwebsites.com. Go over to eBay and buy the Red Dawn patches. Don't forget Indiegogo. We're getting the tour on the road. And I'm 2A as fuck.
He's 2A as fuck.
That's why I try and get gravelly at the end so it turns a little more hard rock instead of less country. But it's hard to, it doesn't sound right. I don't know.
Bust out the drums.
Smegs, it's because you stopped doing the hot shot. If you kept doing the hot shot, the gravelly comes natural, my friend.
I can do the hot shot.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's how do you think you get the gravel? You get it from the hot shot.
I really appreciate you handing off your mantle to me. I take it as an honor.
Hey, man, you put in the hard work, bro. You deserve it.
All right. Super duper pop quiz. What bullshit is Florida trying to pull right now? We talked about it earlier on the Daily Gun Show. Quick, chat room. Type it in.
Internal chat room, external chat
No,
room.
no, no. On the YouTube side. This is for our viewers. What 2A bullshit is Florida trying to pull right now?
Gun confiscation.
That's not what I was thinking of.
Discotheque.
Come on, try again.
You got an answer.
Yeah,
I know,
scars.
but that's not the answer I was looking for. Although that is true.
Oh, that is some classic Daily Gun Show rule
Suck it up,
changes
buttercup
during the fucking question. I love it.
It's always
Playing
better
to
after
win.
the first answer is made, the correct answer is made, because then they feel like, are they just out to get me?
Right?
Trying to pass an assault weapons ban, kinda. You're on the right track. I'm looking for a specific thing they're trying to do that is like extra worse, like super bad, like almost 20 years of badness.
Oh, I got it.
Well, I got a banning full semi-auto.
No.
That's
Man,
not
what's
it.
the name of them? What's the name of them Cuban meat sandwiches that they make over there down there at Miami?
Oh, a Cuban meat sandwich.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't. It's got a name. I can't remember what the name is. But as long as they're not trying to ban those, like we can work with just about anything, right? We're the capitulatory crowd around here. Everybody's just willing to.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Got it.
Vanessa's got it. They are trying to change the Constitution to
Yep.
have banning, I'll say, assault weapons. That's my super quote voice. 30-round mags. Can't buy a gun until you're 21, 10-day waiting period. They're trying to put that in their Constitution, which apparently they only open up for changes every 20 years. So, Vanessa, for figuring out what I was talking about, that makes you the tactical shit of the cave.
Woo! Styling and profiling.
You want to send out a patch?
That's up to you, buddy. I was just doing it for fun because I wanted to say hot shot.
Nice. Nice. It was all the setup. I love it. And congrats, Miss Kitty.
Because I do normally, as the regular cave viewers will know, or the regular cave dwellers will know, normally it's the sharpest stalactite in the cave.
Nice. Now, Smeggies, is that from the top or bottom, though?
The stalactite hangs from the roof. Stalagmite comes up from the ground.
Right? Because T is for the top.
No, that's dumb.
Different way of doing
Hey, whatever it takes, brother. Whatever it takes.
So you want to know my way? Because I forget what Jeweb's way was, but...
Mine's the right way.
Okay, so a T looks like a ceiling with something hanging down. An M looks like two little things poking up from the ground.
M in bottom, T in top.
M and bottom. Nice. So mine is the stalagmite might reach the ceiling, and a stalactite has to hold tight to the ceiling.
See, I just feel like I could mess that up and be
I like that.
Like a stalagmite reach to the ground. Like my brain could swip.
But the tight is what you remember, and the other one confirms it. You remember that you have to hold tight to the ceiling, and then it confirms the might. But yours is all. Both of those are all valid, really. There's no excuse at this point. If you don't know the difference between a stalactite and a stalagmite, you're trying hard to not know.
Man, I'm telling you, dude. It literally, I don't even know what grade it was, but somebody threw that out there.
The order of the 9 planets.
They never taught me any of
Yeah,
these.
or homes.
The order of the
You know what Holmes is, right? Especially if you grew up in Michigan, you know what Holmes is.
No idea what that is. The order of the 9 planets.
What up?
No, but it's Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, Superior.
Yeah.
Is that your waters?
Yeah.
Because we have all the water.
We do.
Or they do. They do have all
It
the
is
water.
the largest freshwater system
My very eager mother just served us 9 pizzas.
I think we had
I go
pies.
with educated, but I do the pizza thing.
Okay.
My very educated mother just served
Yes.
pizzas.
Well, but educated, why would an educated mother serve you 9 pizzas? A very eager mother might serve someone 9 pizzas.
Well, an educated one's going to serve me 9 pies because she
Pies?
knows. Pies.
Snacks.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Pie.
You're getting fat. We're having a social food dinner. For the
Yeah,
people.
and my educated mother calculated the number of people divided by the average slice per person. She'll need to buy 9 pizzas.
You motherfuckers never had my mama's apple pie. She would know why I said 9 pies. Just saying.
Well, I'm not sure
it was
she
very-
offered me apple pie.
Well, if you would have been there, you would have been offered apple pie.
9 of them.
Well, yeah. Usually that was, man, I tell you what, that's the way those family dinners always went. There might have not been 9 pies on the pie table, but there was more than 2 or 3. But anyway, that was just it was pie instead of pizza. That's all I'm saying. It was still the same way.
What's funny about this whole thing, or ironic, is we're arguing about a thing that doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know what the hell kids say now.
Served us 9. Served us none.
Pluto's not a planet anymore. It's a
wait. I thought they brought it back to being a planet. I thought it was not. It was, then it was not, and then they said, "Well, it is a planet."
No, it is still not.
Yeah,
because they found other ones that are actually like bigger than Pluto, and they decided the main criteria is actually not even about size. The main criteria is clearing your orbit, and there's way too much stuff that crosses through its orbit, so it has not cleared out its orbital.
That means that today's kids are told that my very eager mother just served us nothing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
And it's like, if you look back, if you were to call it a planet, it would have been the only planet that's not on the same plane as all the other ones. Like all the other 8 are on the same, their orbits are on the same plane.
Flat dark earther has to have all the planets on the same plane. That's ridiculous.
Did you just say a flat dark earther? Is that what I just said? Oh, I like that. Dude, that's a hashtag, right? Somebody's capitalized on that shit by now, right?
Yes, I have.
Excellent.
We're waiting for
I had a picture from NASA on Instagram the other day, and it was one of those ones where it was, I don't know, it was looking over Africa or something like that.
If you made
I'm like, I was just gonna say, how is it possible in this day and age that anybody can possibly, you can look at this picture and know that it is not faked,
Photoshop.
And if you would have seen the picture, Smegs, you wouldn't say that.
Well, they're all composite pictures, so it's just they took them from different places. That's what they say. They're like, it's all composite, so they make it look like
a million people to make one person's face. Is that what you mean by composite?
We have pictures of the planet. Like we have satellites that look back at us, and we have ones that you can see it curving, but because it took it while going around a couple times, so they composite it together. Like NASA won't deny oh yeah, this is a composite picture, because every time the satellite went around, it took one stripe, and then it went around again over a little bit. They
when Superman was going around, when Superman was going around the Earth to change back time.
Right. Well, that doesn't happen. But anyway, so they go, well, look, they even admit it. It's a composite. So they just made it look curved because the flat earthers are dumb.
What does the moon look like?
Flat.
What shape is it?
Sort of.
No, I think they're okay
what
with
shape?
Other
what
stuff
shape?
being circles. I think they just think Earth's the only one or whatever.
So
I'm not sure.
When you take a picture from the moon of the Earth.
Well, we didn't go to the moon, so it doesn't happen. So
the moon is a projection on the dome. The moon is a projection on the dome that reflects back a cold.
All right. What was the name of that Jim Carrey movie?
Truman
Show.
Yeah, Truman Show, which was actually an all right movie, but
that movie flipped out for a little bit.
I am not gonna sit here on the internet and allow you to besmirch besmirch, excuse me, the names of Buzz Aldrin and Neil A. Armstrong, motherfucker.
They will punch you in the face.
You mean the greatest
Fuck
actors of all
yeah.
time?
Oh no, they are not good actors. They're real. And Buzz will punch you in the face. I
Real
love that.
full of it.
All crotchety fucking astronaut dude. Didn't he he punched somebody in the fucking face when they asked him like the stupidest of dumb questions or something?
Well,
or...
they were accusing him of not going to the moon.
Oh
like,
yeah,
put your
okay.
hand on this Bible.
Woo!
Swear that you landed on.
Tell Buzz he didn't go. You know what? You didn't go. Where's your proof? Where's your moon rocks, moon man? Where's your spaceship, partner? It's in the Smithsonian, fuckstick.
He sent somebody a moon rock that was actually like a rock from Arizona.
Really?
Well, mostly because you personally can't take moon rocks. That's NASA property.
But you can't just send somebody a rock and say, "Here's a moon rock."
Sure you can. What are you talking about?
It depends. If it's
I
like
feel like Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong.
I don't know of anybody coming back from the moon. I know of like doodads and like say dimes and patches and stamps, stuff they could put in the pockets on their legs, basically. But I don't think I've never heard of, and I know Cernan's family. I've never heard of a rock being owned by somebody.
Wouldn't that be like?
Yeah, I think they definitely took rocks back, but I don't think
anybody personally owns. That's why I said they're property of NASA. Or actually, I should change that. They're property of the U.S. government. It's probably not necessarily.
They also took away this one lady's moon rock that an astronaut gave her or something. Like the government came and took it away.
Was that the one that the lady won on the auction or something like that for $200 or something?
It might have been.
I think I remember that story. That's pretty fucked up because yeah, they certainly did. Like the person who sold it on auction or whatever, for whatever reason, NASA had never obviously either tried to disprove or prove like authenticity or whatever. It was only after the lady had purchased it and had it for an amount of time or whatever, where all of a sudden somebody actually pulled their head out of their ass over there and said, that's not supposed to be out in the public. That's federal property. We do need that back. I'm sorry.
At this point, what do they still need them for? I mean, I get it. They were doing the science on it.
I don't know what that shit's made out of, man. I don't know. Well, here's the other thing. If it's property of the federal government, I believe there's several people on this panel that can attest to what that label on anything means.
I know, but I mean, the government sells surplus all the time. So why can't they be like, okay, we're done with
that? Ain't a surplus moon rock, man. Because we have not, you know what? Because there's probably shit out there that they've developed through technology and or, you know, using it or just even investigating and exploring, you know?
I'm just saying that, like, they have a lot of moon rocks at this point. They've done tons of testing. For one thing, moon rocks aren't like super special. They found out that the moon is like made of a lot of the very same materials that the Earth is, which is where the whole theory of, you know, like a kind of like a protoplanet smashed into us when we were like being formed, and it kind of split off a big chunk and then kind of reformed, and that's how the moon came together, because the moon has two totally separate things, like something kind of melded together. So a lot of the stuff like from that other planet got into Earth, and a lot of Earth got into the moon. Like it's very similar composition.
The moon is kind of like our cast off. Like when we were molting and spinning at 1,500 miles an hour or whatever,
smashed into us. That's also why
it hit it, and that's what else was the cast off, you know, from the spinning.
Yeah, well, it's the leftover of the original thing that hit us, combined with the shit that we threw up into space,
and then it cooled in the form of a sphere.
Yeah,
it's hollow.
Well, according to a documentary I saw, it is the secret place of the lost Nazi regime.
Well, listen, they did a test where they struck it with something like I forget, with a missile, or they just dropped something on it on the surface, and it rung like a bell for like an hour or something.
I'm trying to remember. I think in
Oh,
comics, I think
yeah,
in
Google it.
in one of the comics, it's actually for some interstellar being. What is it, like Lost World style, where it is hollow, like you're saying, just somewhat impenetrable to our like radar type of thing, and there's some whole lost world on the inside of the moon. Sure, I've heard that one too.
It's made of cheese.
I've heard, yes, it's made of cheese. I've definitely heard that one. Apparently, you
The
could get there
Transformers are
on a
on
ladder at one point.
This is interesting to me, so trying to look it up, and it says on the NASA website, between 1969 and 1972, 6 Apollo missions brought back 382 kilograms, which is 842 pounds of lunar rocks, core samples, pebbles, sand, and dust from the lunar surface. The 6 space flights returned 2,200 separate samples from 6 different exploration sites on the moon. In addition, 3 automated Soviet spacecraft returned important samples totaling 300 grams, approximately 3/4 of a pound, from 3 other lunar sites. The chief repository is the Johnson Space Center. The Lunar Sample Laboratory is where the pristine lunar samples are prepared for shipment to scientists and educators. Nearly 400 samples are distributed each year for research and teaching projects. So I don't think there's a nefarious purpose other than it says over here that it costs about $51,000 a gram for the U.S. government to retrieve samples from the moon. So I think it has great value, and there's not much of it. It also says that we gave whole bunches of it to countries and people as gifts. Nixon did. So
Well, yeah, I think we gave some to a country, and it turned out that it wasn't like a moon.
Yeah, but that moron also took us off the gold standard, didn't he?
Okay, so the Nixon administration gave various nations of the world rocks from the moon, of which approximately 180 are unaccounted for. So many moon rocks that have been unaccounted for have been stolen and tracked by researchers and hobbyists because of their rarity and difficulty in obtaining more. So I think the reason isn't nefarious so much as it's ultimately the rare substance on the Earth, because we only went and got whatever, how many pounds of it?
800 something.
100 pounds of it. And most of it is in, labs and science displays.
Right. I guess my only point was I didn't understand, what are the labs still doing to it? Like, haven't you learned enough of it by now?
It's
I
history
think it's
now.
so that you can literally put it in front of somebody who's learning and they can hold it. And the significance of holding moon rocks in their hand will, give them a life's worth of inspiration and discovery.
Yeah.
And most of this, it looks like the person getting busted was because they got it from one of these stolen sources, more than likely.
Yeah, that's what I thought I'd heard about the story for the lady, was that like it may have been like somewhat of a legit auction, but the owner of it before it was auctioned did not
It wasn't theirs to
come by,
auction.
right, they did not come by of regular legal means or whatever.
I would imagine
going back
if we
to the
discover
Nixon
new ways. Well, I was to say, as we discover new ways of testing and new things to test for, and new.
Absolutely, that's what I wanted to say. Was as our technology improves,
like we
there may
figure
be some frequency that we don't know.
Yeah, we find residual radiation of a spectrum we never knew before, or some kind of a thing, right? So now we have pristine moon rocks that we know are moon rocks. That's probably why they hold on to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's the best answer to my question.
And it's the
I
only
completely
way
accept
to
that.
fucking kill space werewolves, dude. Come
Right.
on now.
But I just want to say, going back to the Nixon thing, that is such a baller gift. Like, for one, that's a cool gift. Like, oh, thanks, Mr. President. Like, you're our friend now.
I am not a crook.
But
Here's stolen moon
at the
rock.
same time, it is kind of the U.S. going to, whoever, like,
Oh, braggadocious.
like France, and be like, hey, you want some of our moon rocks? You guys want to trade moon rocks? Oh yeah, that's right. You've never been to the moon,
Right? You want to
fuckers.
compare? You want to compare moon rocks? Like, what do you got? Because we'll be happy to share and compare.
I got so many of them. I will glad you give you some of my moon rocks that we got because we went to the moon and you guys never went. So I feel bad for you. Like you should have some of ours.
Let me give you a metric number of these. Oh wait, we didn't use metric to go there.
Oh wait, last time metric was used on the Mars launcher. It crashed into the ground.
G-Webs,
12.
you just made me actually wish Bob was sitting here to take that, and he's not. So I'm not gonna root for bad news, but
oh, you know we gave some moon rocks to Canada. Be like, hey, come here for a second, little brother. I have a moon rock. Go play. Just you go play with yourself because you're never getting up there. You guys suck.
But when we gave it to Canada, we held it just out of the reach for a little while, so I had to jump over.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, you want this? Oh, is this what you want? Wait, no, is this what you want?
You put it on a little model rocket, and when they go to grab it, you launch it back up. Be like, I'm just sending it back to the moon. You go up there and get it.
Hey, in Johnson Space Center, that's the one in Houston, right? Down by what is it? Is it Clear Lake over that way? Bell Harbor, something like that. Johnson Space Center in Houston, right? Correct. That's where all the moon rocks are. Isn't that what I heard you say?
It said Johnson Space Center, but I didn't click the link to know where that is. I don't.
Oh, that's all right. No, I know some people on. I think I know some people on that side of town. Now that I know that it's got moon rocks, I will probably go next time I go. I shouldn't be a security clearance issue, so everything should be just fine.
If you look at the Wikipedia for stolen moon rocks, it's really long, and there's like all kinds of crazy adventures in there.
Yeah, but the thing with the wiki though is somebody could be putting bullshit in there, couldn't they?
Well, there's like a fake moon rock trade and everything.
I have heard of that.
But it sounds like people rip off moon rocks all the time. I'm guessing they're like they're being secured by scientists, so they're probably like in a drawer and shit.
Oh man! And then all of a sudden, what? The janitor needs to get a hip replacement for his grandma, so he has to take a little bit of moon rock to bring home to sell to the fence.
I mean, they do have 800 pounds, so it's not like. I mean, it is expensive, but it's not like
it's 51. What did you say? 51. What a gram?
$50,000 a gram to bring it back. Yeah.
$50K a gram.
So there's a question from Vanessa. It was a little bit earlier. I missed it because I'm in my leaning back phase, so I can't really see the computer screen anymore. But they asked, would the lunar moon buggy still run if you went up there and tried to start it? I'm guessing no, because I'm pretty sure those were like battery electric buggies.
Oh, they're probably solar though.
But well, I think that's what I'm saying. I don't think they were solar. I would bring a solar kit.
It might fire back up if you brought something else.
I think it would. Because you're actually right. I think because if we did have solar, we had such crude solar at that fucking time compared to what it is now that like there was going to be a limited battery life. And
I think because I mean, the NASA does it all the time where they're like, all right, this is going to run for 20 hours or whatever. That's good enough, and they put in a little bit of safety factor or whatever, but that's their mission is set. Now the other thing is, I'm not sure if all of the components have been scrambled by getting hit by that radiation, because the moon isn't protected like the Earth is with our magnetic field. So it's getting bombarded by the solar radiation all the time. And that's what fucks with like our long distance probes, like when we send them out to Jupiter and stuff. Like it messes with the electronics, getting hit by all that stuff. That's one of the things that killed the first orbiter that we sent to Jupiter is it went in close to like take a scan of the planet or whatever. And when it went through the radiation belt around Jupiter, it was like way more intense than they had ever predicted. So it like fried the electronics after the first couple passes. So it didn't last as long as they wanted it to. And they had problems with communication and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I would think the solar radiation would fry it.
But
they also made shielding for it at that time.
Be okay.
Yeah, that's the theory. That's
so you just go take a new power source and some new, brain power that controls it. because it was all electronic stuff. It's not
Which you probably would want to do anyway, if that's an option, you know. Granted, what is this? Are we back to rockets again? That's what we're doing these days. We're rocket powered, as opposed to shuttle. Isn't that what part of the theory was?
Yeah.
For the change.
Well, because the shuttle was so expensive to launch up and back, and we talked about this the other day. Is although it did take payloads up into space, it was kind of underutilized. The thing was to try and be like a little bit of everything.
It was inefficient.
Semi truck, and we were using it as a taxi cab.
Yep,
so that's why
it was an inefficient usage of it.
Vanessa's saying we didn't have solar back then, solar power.
Yeah, so they were probably just
the rover is not solar to begin with.
I mean, she's pretty smart. She knows her stuff. So
I think it's entirely possible, and that it may have been only battery powered. Yeah.
Yeah, it was battery powered.
I would think the lack of maintenance might be an issue also. I mean, it's been sitting up there for...
But there's no rain, there's no wind, there's no...
Right. I mean, it's in a vacuum, so
it's in a vacuum.
True.
Hold on.
So that would be okay.
If there was no wind, all them craters would look like sharp-edged and pristine. There's definitely solar radiation that blows dust around, and I'm guessing stuff.
Okay. But compared to, say, anything or anywhere else, not even close.
We're going to talk ourselves into believing the moon landing was fake now.
Oh, no. No, we're not. That in my life, for me, will never happen. It is one of those things that I am so proud of as a human being, that we've actually been able to literally step foot somewhere else.
Well, that's like people thinking ancient aliens built the pyramids. They don't believe that humans have the capability and the brains to...
Oh, no, that was ancient aliens.
Oh,
no, that was people from the stars.
Okay.
For sure. 100%. 100% sure.
That show pisses me off.
I have it on the highest authority. Bob said he was probed several times, and they told him that it was all true.
I think Bob's an alien. That's why he doesn't fit in.
Well, he might be.
He's got most of the human things, but he's just a little off.
What happened to Alan Anchor? She just jumped off a while back. I guess she's...
I was going to say it's late, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, she sleeps.
I'm about to heli out of here myself. I'm going to give it maybe another 20 minutes or something.
Like 1 in the afternoon where you are.
It's about to be midnight, and I will turn into a pumpkin.
Lunch.
Oh my God, midnight. Oh no.
I got to get up at about 4:30.
It's like 5:30 a.m. here.
Giving shit to the guy who works 7 days a week.
Yeah. That's all right. It happens.
Just joking. I miss him.
I'm all good.
Wanting to sleep. Look at this guy.
I miss Z. I gotta give him a couple little jabs, you know. Hey.
Hey, oh, hey.
Hey, I'm just saying here.
Yep, just saying. Just saying.
When's the last time you shot that TRRRR8?
Easter morning up in here.
Last time I was in Texas, so 2 years ago.
God damn.
The Smith & Wesson revolver?
Wait a minute. You know what? No, it probably maybe one time since then. Maybe, but it's been over a year. Oh, probably working on a year and a half.
That's too long.
And
what
the heck are we talking about? Because I didn't understand Moon. The TRRR.
The TRR8 Smith & Wesson.
I don't know what that is.
57.
That's a revolver.
It's a slick revolver. That thing is nice.
It's a revolver that he's supposed to put an aim point and a surefire.
Yes. And take many pictures of it.
Yep.
The tactical revolver.
Got 8 shots of 357.
Yep. Ain't gonna lie. She's pretty. She feels good. She does a good job. That's one of those things, and that's one where it's just a brass bead. And
It's classy though.
it's fucking laser is what it is. What it see. That's what I always compare it to. It's like that bullet comes out and it goes in a straight fucking line at a high rate of speed, man. And 357 out of 5-inch barreled pistols, not a problem on any level. Even if it is made out of scandium instead of steel.
Yeah, is the scandium is that it's lighter? I take it because everyone.
It
talks
is.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, it is lighter. Like that thing weighs the same as the 2 3/4 inch Performance Center's stainless steel 8-round 357 Magnum. And it's a 5-inch barrel. And the other, and it weighs exactly the same as the stainless steel, the smallest stainless steel 8-rounder. So yeah, you're right, Moon. I'm a piece of shit, and I should get my ass to the range at some point.
Well, I didn't say all that, but yeah.
I mean, the range for you, that's something we haven't talked about in a while. There might be some new people that don't know about Hawaii, but where you are, isn't like the range only open to the public for like a day, a month, or something?
3 days. 3 days a month for public open range day.
And it just happens to be on the island you're on. Like, it's not a statewide thing, but like...
Right, that is our public range here on the island of Maui, yes. I think it's first Sunday, second Saturday, third Thursday. So there you go. There's another reason way to try and remember shit. Same as like 30 Days has November. We know that one.
April, June, and November.
Yeah,
all the rest of.
Are there any private clubs that you can join?
Yes, there are. But it's not necessarily like a private club like you're almost thinking of. Like, it is a private club where it's a large tract of land that people go hunting on.
So hold on. Would it be a private club like what Higgins would join, or a private club like what Rick would join, or a private club like what Magnum would join?
The one with secret handshake.
Like fancy?
It's probably
fancy, or
well, it's not. Oh, it's one of the. Okay, so check it out. It's the one that I would probably join if I were to join one. It's number one. You have to get referred by an actual member. Like, that's the start of it right there.
Automatically, it's Rick or Higgins.
Yeah, right. Because Tommy didn't get the invite. So then after that, I think it's just like a yearly fee or whatever. You like call to like try and see when the schedule is open for you to be in the area.
Like Rick,
you know, you're trying to get a tea time is how I like to look at it. You're trying to block a piece of the schedule.
This is Rick. Higgins ain't waiting around. He's making a phone call and he's shooting. Rick, though, is going to have to call somebody and do some favors and get you in when he wants to go shoot.
Yeah, I guess. Because any other time that here's the other thing. If the person owns enough private property and they're outside of any type of, substantial population, there is potential for that as well, but you have to know somewhat of a large landowner.
Now we're back to Magnum, and he's just shooting out there in the yard with the dogs and getting Higgins on that.
No, Magnum was never shooting in the yard and fucking on Oahu, dude. I guarantee you that. I mean, unless he had to literally shoot somebody on the lawn or something like that. He did not discharge his firearm on that property. I've been to that property.
I feel like I'm being age shamed because I have no idea these people you're talking about.
What?
Okay, have you ever seen the show Smeggies Cave? Number one.
TV show?
Are you familiar with Tom Selleck and Magnum PI? Let's just start with that.
Oh my God.
I know it exists.
Okay. Educate yourself when you have the opportunity, my friend.
How about 3 Men and a Baby?
You ever seen 3 Men and a Baby?
I hope not.
Because then
I believe I have, but not enough to know.
No. Have you ever seen Runaway? You mean with Gene
Runaway?
fucking Simmons? Yeah, Runaway with Gene Simmons and the little robot motherfucking shit. Gyro jet bullets.
Gene Simmons is from Kiss.
Seeking Bullets?
Yes, he is.
He was a bad guy in
he was
Runaway.
the bad guy in a
Yep.
movie. One time.
Yep. See, I can dig deep.
You know I don't
how the
like
hell that gets into Magnum
names,
PI.
Fred.
Because it's Tom
Quick
Selleck
Down
was the good
Under?
guy.
In movies that this dude was in?
It's like two
Hey,
movies.
Quigley Down Under, free, recently added on Prime right now.
Unfortunately, I'm sick of watching that movie.
Well, I haven't watched it in a while. I'll probably watch
I
it.
like the idea of the movie, but then you watch the movie and you
Really
go,
far.
"What the heck is up with this chick in this movie? What is going on with this chicken?"
Dingoes ate my baby.
I'm just not
Even-
impressed
I
with his can shooting.
With his what shooting?
Can shooting?
Ah,
No.
not the bucket shooting, but the can shooting.
Yeah.
That's because he's better with a rifle than he is with a revolver.
Even the bucket with the rifle, not impressive. bucket's just sitting there.
Yeah, like half a mile, or what was it? A half a mile away,
This is
something like that, dude.
a classic 80s show where it's on the island of Hawaii. And
yes.
it's this dude.
No, it's on the island of Oahu, technically. It's in the state of Hawaii.
Of Hawaii. And then they, while we're in the NAM together, so they've all got, they're brothers. So they're helping each other out and they're getting through life. And Magnum is this like private detective and
Ex-military intelligence, naval intelligence officer.
Yeah, he's Navy or something. And then he has 1911 and all kinds
Here's a star model B.
And then he's got Dobermans that live next door. And always be
Okay, but here's the deal, dude. Here's the deal. Robin Masters is supposedly this world famous author, right? So he's this uber rich guy, right? But you never know who fucking Robin Masters is. But here's the deal. Thomas Magnum has done something in his life to, for, with, or against. What's that?
They were on like the team with that ring together. Like they were on some kind of team, brotherhood together.
Oh, I see. Now I thought he had just done something for, like basically my opinion was he had saved Robin Masters' life at some point in time. So anyway, so
Magnum, Rick, TC, and Robin Masters.
Yeah, but who was the only guy driving the fucking Ferrari, dude? It wasn't Rick and TC.
Oh no, I know. But they probably could have if they would have bugged them about it, right? They were just doing their own thing. Magnum's sort of a leech.
Oh, well, okay, so here's the deal. And think of this super nice, lush property right on the shore over where Oahu is and Honolulu and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's not even on the Honolulu side. It's on the super nice, chill side. And wide open green grass, palm trees swaying in the breeze, ocean right out your door. And then there's the guest ohana, which is like... what do they call it? Like a bigger than a cabana, but it's basically a mother-in-law's house or a, what do they call it in Texas, my friend? Casita.
Oh,
I think they'll call it like a casita.
Right.
So Magnum, for whatever he did, gets to have access to the fucking author's super rad fucking Ferrari, which gets all the bitches.
A hacienda.
He gets to live on the fucking property with, like, I'm gonna say rent free was as far as I could tell, but you know what? Magnum paid a price of some kind at some point. So he got to stay at the super chill pad right on the beach, living the life, be a private investigator, work his own hours, and to sell the whole thing. Man, when did he not drive the Ferrari? He literally, anytime he drove anywhere, He drove the Ferrari. Anytime TC or Rick came to pick him up, he rode with them or whatever. And it was nice that TC was a chopper pilot. Let's be honest. They utilized the shit out of that. It was good that Rick's family, before he was in the military, was in some form of organized crime family, which ended up helping good for Magnum's underworld contacts and stuff like that. And basically, Higgins was the groundskeeper, but he also he was not like the groundskeeper like the long guy. Like, he was the caretaker of the entire place. Like, he made sure that everything, and think about it, he's like this British dude that may have been, I don't want to say like in the Boer War, because he wasn't that old, you know, but just British, uptight, usually wearing long socks and shorts, and just being a totally uptight straight man to Thomas Magnum's sometimes witty / funny good cop, bad cop, or whatever.
Okay, so you've been talking for 20 minutes, and I'm not any closer to understanding how the club being described as a Rick or a Higgins or a Magnum thing means anything. So what
Rick's
kind of
the
club
guy
is
with
it?
Rick's the wheeler dealer who runs the nightclub. So he's like got the underworld contacts and he runs a nightclub. And then TC's the helicopter pilot. He's got a helicopter sightseeing business and he's got a sweet van. And then that doesn't matter. And then Higgins, like you said, is like the fancy English guy. So he's all fancy and everything's expensive and rich. And then Magnum is the Navy guy who's like mooching off his friends. So that's why I was asking if the gun range was like just your regular gun range that anybody can go to, that would be Magnum. And then if it was something like what it sounds like, it'd be like Rick, where you have to kind of.
Well, you were asking about the club and not the range, correct?
The club, sorry. And then
yeah,
if it would have been Higgins, it would have been the kind of club where you don't have to get a tea time. You're a member of the club, so it's waiting for you.
Right. And I'm going to say it's a combo between Rick and Higgins, because it's not the only reason you're scheduling your time is because you have a finite. It's not like you're going to shoot yourself or anybody, right? It's just one of those things where they want to know, because I can go up there if I were to be able to do this. You know, I could go with like 2-3 people or whatever, and if there were members and everything like that. So it doesn't matter necessarily that like the number of people so much in the area at the time or whatever. It's just that it's one of those things to make sure that somebody is aware of somebody occupying that space at that time, so that, you know, there's less chance of any problems.
So this will help clear it up for Smeggie. The character of Higgins served for 37 years in the British military in the Second World War, in Indochina War, assisting the French, New Guinea, India, Kenya, among others. Higgins carried this discipline in his military background in civilian life. He earned the rank of sergeant and was in the MI6 of the British Secret Service. He owns a doctorate in mathematics from the University of Cambridge. And
oh yeah, I forgot he was super fucking smart, and I mean he was well cultured and everything like that, but I forgot he was super smart. And he never believed Magnum's bullshit at any point. And then there was a fan theory at one point that Higgins was actually Robin Masters.
Like last, and I don't understand that part, because they like flipped it from Robin being one of the crew to like they didn't know
exactly.
Who was. Like, that didn't make any sense.
He became the box. He became Charlie from Charlie's Angels, so to speak, without even talking though.
And this will also clear it up. There was the crossover with Murder, She Wrote, where Jessica Fletcher comes and hangs out with Higgins.
Huh.
Oh, and they say that in the first place.
Now it's all clear, I'm sure.
Yeah, that
Angela Lansbury
lady or whatever, right? Isn't that Murder She Wrote? Wasn't she old lady?
Yeah, but okay. Bonus question: what was the town she was from?
Castle Rock, Fraggle Rock.
Nope.
Nope.
Now Moon's getting closer with the Fraggles.
I had to actually look it up.
264 episodes, so only half as many as the Daily Gun Show.
Oh, they're phoning it in.
Yeah, seriously.
But it was Mary Poppins. So.
Wait, what?
No, you only got Mary Bobbins.
Cabot Cove, Maine.
Kennebunk
Cabot
Park.
Cove. That's what it was. Cabot Cove.
Cabot Cove.
And actually, I like how it goes. And it's actually Mendocino.
I don't like the name of that town.
What, Cabot Cove?
Yeah.
Does it remind you too much of
Oh, it's not.
what was the sci-fi one? It just
Wait a
came
minute,
out?
wait a minute. Since Z didn't leave. Z, I'm going to LA next week. What movies were filmed in LA besides Terminator and Falling Down that I need to go to places? Besides Rockford Files, I'm going there.
Oh man.
So you don't have to answer.
Literally every fucking movie has part of LA in it, dude.
I know. I looked up the Night of the Comet where they shoot the Uzis. Well, they shoot the Mac 10s. But that is underneath of a building. Yeah, they. Oh.
What about
Beverly
what did
Hills
you say? Planet of the Apes. You say they do have Century City still there, or they do not have that part of Century City there for Planet of the Apes?
I don't
Battle
know
for the Planet of the Apes.
I do not know about that.
What building did they use for Nakatomi Plaza?
I don't know.
You got to go to that motherfucker.
Are you writing this shit down?
No.
You writing this shit down, man? Because yeah, you need to find the if it's still a place, the Century City, because that was where they did Battle for the Planet of the Apes, where fucking shit went crazy, and that's supposed to be just like a part of the town or whatever, or the city. Like you can literally just walk there.
Sidewalks.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And Nakatomi Plaza, that has to be a real place, right?
Oh yeah. It was a real building. Like I just can't remember what building they used.
Okay, I got those in here. Which Planet of the Apes was it? Battle for Planet of the Apes?
I think so.
I'm talking about old one, not the new one.
Yeah, I am definitely talking about the old one.
Smeggy.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off and let you guys finish the show.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Hey, thanks for joining us, dude.
Island, Moon, it was great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
G-Webs and Smeggy, of course, you know, it's been an honor. So,
oh, Jesus.
Hope to see you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's anytime you want to jump in, just like you did tonight. Just, you know, send me a message over on Gun Channels when I'm doing a thing, and if I don't see it, you know, you can mention on the YouTube chat, like, hey, dude, I sent you a message, and I'll go look at it.
You might regret that on a night I might be drinking, so, but.
Well, that's all right. I have a pretty strict rule. If you bug me, I kick you out. And then basically that just means you can't get back into that particular chat.
Right. I won't talk about your CZ 1911 or anything.
Well, you know, just because of that, where's the eject button?
Sayonara.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, dude, it's fun, man. You're welcome anytime. Have a good one.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Take care.
Later.
So is there something cool in Beverly Hills Cop that you can check out? I'm trying to think of like
that
scenes that would have stuff that wasn't just like on a sound stage or whatever.
Well, like the banana, I'm not going to fall, but the banana and the tailpipe would actually be in front of somebody's house, and I probably wouldn't suggest pulling up in a white van trying to take a bunch of pictures in front of that particular house.
In a hotel.
Oh, well, yeah, there was a hotel when you sent him out room service.
I don't like that movie.
Oh, you don't?
Oh, well, that's a shame.
The house with the gate in front of it.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, where he actually did put the banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah,
for that one. All right, that's what it was.
Well, I thought
they stopped him in front of it, and in front of what's his face's house, and he pulled out beers in the cooler and started drinking.
Did you like, you know, and it probably don't matter, but like
that I have found
To Live and Die in L.A. or you know, are there any of those types of movies that you liked?
Well, here's some movies that I have found in my research so far: Blue Thunder, but I can't think of anything good from the movie Blue Thunder. The Terminator, which I've already been to the gun shop in Terminator, but I could go to other places, I guess. Night of the Comet, which unfortunately it seems like I've already researched that one. It's underneath of another building now, so there's nowhere to look at.
Ah, damn.
They Live. I was thinking about going to that alley or something, or maybe that house. I don't know. The Last Boy Scout.
Okay, what, like the house where he rolls down the hill, or?
Well, that's the thing. I don't remember anything really from that movie that's so good. Falling Down. I've already been to the place, but it's one of
The Shop. That's still that blows my mind, dude. That just
Pulp Fiction, 1994, and then SWAT 2003. I was thinking if I could get to that SWAT range, but I don't think that's gonna.
If you can get to the pawn shop where Zed was
oh,
from Pulp Fiction,
see if there's
that's
a fucking
like an
samurai
Englewood.
sword on. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Is there any good band movies? Was Corvette Summer filmed there? It might have been.
Well, what about Americathon?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, come on, man. Harvey Korman, John Ritter, 1970s, the oil embargo causes the U.S. to have an energy shortage, and motherfuckers, just like they go on the full tiny house excursion back then in the 70s, except they start living in their motherfucking cars.
What's this called?
Americathon.
Oh, I never heard of that movie.
Oh, dude. Let me see if it's on the tubes, because you're old enough, I think, to still appreciate some 70s, early 80s humor. Still, you might still find it entertaining, at least.
Well, there's some pretty cool places in Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Like
so yeah, dude. You know you got to do like Man's Chinese Theater. You need who? I'm sorry, G. Is there anybody on the Star Walk of Fame you want to see?
No.
You're gonna go spit on Trump's star.
Fun stuff.
Let's see. Oh man,
It's there.
I don't know that he's in that area. Oh, you know what? They do have some clips of it, but I can't find the full thing without paying for it currently. So, like John Ritter, Jack Tripper is the president, and like I said, it's economic downturn of one of the worst kinds. Let's see. I'm trying to think if is there any zombie things. What?
It's probably some Dirty Harry stuff. That's San Francisco.
Yeah, it is San Francisco. What about the sign? Any desire to go up to where the sign is?
The sign?
Yeah.
A Hollywood sign?
Yeah, and you look down.
Just movies. I mean, like the gun shop from Terminator, like the surplus store from Falling Down. I'm looking for like gun stuff from movies.
Going to places to go. I got
you. Was the Heat, the bank in Heat? Is that L.A. or New York?
Oh, that's L.A. Right? It was L.A. I think.
What about the gun store in Commando? Is that a thing?
That's one of them. No, that is one of them, and we ran right past it. It's not a surplus store anymore. I think that's one of the reasons I didn't have it high on my priorities, because it was.
What about the range from Beverly Hills Cop 2?
That's what I was thinking, like that. But it's a country club or whatever.
Right. Let's see. What about the racetrack from Beverly Hills Cop 2 then? For a completely different reason.
Beverly Hills Cop, remember? I got yelled at for suggesting it.
Well, he said he didn't like Beverly Hills Cop. He might like Beverly Hills Cop 2 because I meant
the entire franchise when I suggested it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I find Eddie Murphy to be thoroughly entertaining, especially 1980.
And Rosewood goes like full Rambo.
Rosebud.
Rosebud goes full Rambo.
So
God damn it, Billy!
All at the same time, so I don't remember which ones are which. But like, which one is Belky in?
He's in all of them.
Oh, he is.
You know he's in the first one.
Yeah, he's in the
Serge. My name is Serge.
Okay, yeah.
But he's also in the third one. Which
I was gonna say, which is the one where he's like selling the
rocket launcher
or whatever?
Yeah, that's the third one. It was a mistake. The movie should have never been made.
Well, that was also the Disney one, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
where they like went to Wally World or something. It took place.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they went to.
Oh yeah,
well,
they
they was Disneyland, but it
One?
wasn't.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Big Lebowski. Is there anything from there?
Maybe the bowling parking lot where the dude or
Bowling alley.
where John Milius pulled out his 1911 on the Nihilist. We don't roll on the Shabbat or Sabbath or what did he say?
Fast Time-
Shabbos. We
Fast
don't
Time-
roll on Shabbos.
Fast Times at-
Man, there is nothing gun related in that, but any of that would be good.
That's true.
At least that mall.
Speed.
I'd eat at the donut place where the two girls worked.
Oh shit! Escape from L.A.
Ooh, man, the problem is that, like, what you're gonna go to the L.A. River, or like you're gonna go to the Coliseum, or
Yeah.
you know I mean, because I thought of that, but it's hard when it's in a future that didn't happen, sort of.
Oh, it only sort of didn't happen.
I bet some of that shit happened if you look at it, really.
Training Day.
Oh, now see that one, like.
That's
I'm not sending you to the place where they were using the birds as the communication device, bro. It's number one. I ain't sending you there.
Down to Compton or whatever.
yeah. It's like Watts and Compton.
Only if you save that dude's niece from getting raped by those two crackheads, bro. That is the only way you get a pass. Yeah, I saw it. That's the only way it happened. That is the only way that happens.
Either that, or at least if you maybe decide to ignore reciprocity rules, then you might be okay rolling through Compton.
Keep it going for whatever. But if you do think of something, if something comes up, like an epic scene or some kind of a building or something, let me know.
All right, dude. What about like? Did you ever get to watch Big Wednesday yet, G?
No, I didn't. I should.
Yeah, you should watch Big Wednesday because there might be places down like it's LA, but it's not LA when we're starting to talk, if you start heading towards like Huntington Beach and stuff like that. But
write a letter to Amelius's lawyer, find out if I can meet him.
Or his agent.
Well, I think they're lawyers, what I found out. You have to talk to his lawyer to get
all right.
Because I can't find his agent's number anywhere. If you type in it in like to whatever the official database of like how to talk to people, it is lawyers to contact info.
Well, that's fair or fine or cool, I guess. I'll take it. I'll take whatever you can provide when it comes to that good dude. But yeah, man, watch Big Wednesday. Anybody out there listening, realize the time of, man, as I'm saying this, I'm remembering the movie, and some of y'all ain't gonna like parts of that movie. Some of y'all gonna wonder why people are acting the way they're acting. You got to remember that it's during the draft portion of Vietnam was when that movie takes place, and just the draft board scene alone. But it's a great fucking movie. That was when I understood what the term masochist meant, was after I watched that movie with Gary Busey. I didn't know what that meant before then. It was just a word.
All right. Well,
I'm curious.
Oh yeah, he's a crazy motherfucker in that movie, dude. Ain't no lying in that. Dude. That's how you knew. You were wondering if he was acting or not. But yeah, if I remember right, he did that movie just because it was an excuse for him to be able to surf with his buddies and then make a movie. That's one of the great things about being a good writer. You can kind of get away with that if you can do it, if you're good at it. Man, I wish we had a letter or marquee for you, or a letter or mark for you, G. Some way to get in. with
Sure.
millions of people.
Doesn't cost nothing to try.
That's true. And yeah, I just noticed I also am going to pull the cord. It's about that time for this guy.
All right, take it easy. Good talking to you.
All right. Aloha.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Don't be a stranger.
All right. Well, I won't be any stranger, but that doesn't mean it won't be strange. So, all right, guys. Take care. Aloha.
And see you, Moon. I just noticed that you had jumped out. I wasn't looking at the screen for a little bit. And yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down and get going. So all you people listening, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for helping out with the show by adding questions and comments and all that good stuff. And G-Webs, take it easy. We'll
Yeah, I was
see
hoping
you
to have
tomorrow.
longer, but Smeggie insisted on closing it, so I guess we'll have to end it now.
Yeah, sorry, man. I just gonna shut it
At all.
down. Try and get a little bit of sleep.
I had all my research prepared, but I guess we'll do that some other time.
Yeah, I saw that you had all your research going, and I feel bad about that. Perhaps next time.
All right, thanks for hosting.
Yep. See you guys.